The situation at Spurs is oh so wrong. It's all part of Phoenix and Levy's gone. A world-class stadium, second-rate team. Spurs are winning nothing under this regime. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Intense up, filling the coffers to the brim. The football forecast looks so grim. Spurs last cup win in 2008. A lack of proper investment is what true fans hate. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Intense up, filling their coffers to the brim. The football forecast looks so grim. Spurs last cup win in 2008. A lack of proper investment is what true fans hate. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Project Youth, just another Levy feast. Dismantling Spurs history piece by piece. The stadium, just an entertainment hub. No true fan wanted this for our club. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Legendary Bill Nick would turn in his grave if he knew how the owners now behave. Corporate greed and no success. We need to work together to get our club out of this mess. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be in town. Post-match show. Spurs are into the quarterfinals of the Europa Cup, and we deserved it tonight. We were the better team. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. I'm joined by Michael. The rest will be coming soon. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone tuning in. Smash a like. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe. All the usual things. If you put any comments in the chat, we'll try and go through them as we go along. Any questions or topics you want us to discuss, get your super chats in. Ange had to win that to save his career at Spurs, I think, for now. He's won it. There's big talk that we might go out tonight. I was 50-50. I was very confident we'd knock out AZ Alkmaar in this tie. And do you know what? I've kind of been proven right. I did feel we would knock them out overall, but I thought we'd beat them abroad and then beat them back here, but we lost abroad, and that made me now think, well, I'm 50-50, man, especially with the performance against Bournemouth. But look, tonight we were the better team. I don't think it was a great performance, but we were definitely the better team. We deserved it on the night. And Michael, we're in the quarterfinals. So you know what that means? Ange Ball is back. We're going to win the Europa. Odebert is Messi reincarnated. Yeah. Do you know what? This fan base gets carried away so much. It's like they never ever learn. Like we never fucking learn. It drives me mad. But look, I don't think we're going to win the Europa. I saw enough tonight to know we're not going to win it. I think we go out at the semi-finals, and I stick to that. I still think we'll go out at the semi-finals. But look, we're in the quarters, so we're in the hat, and now it's the big guns. We're going to be playing the Frankfurts, the Lazios, the Man Uniteds if they get to the final. If we get to the final, the Athletic Bilbaos. There's no more easy games now. All the shit teams are out. This is serious business. What do you think of tonight's game, Michael? And I think we deserved it. And what do you think about the overall kind of the last eight? We'll get into the last eight in a minute, but
yeah,
where are you at? Where are you at with it?
Yeah. So first of all, big up the chat. Thank you for all the nice messages throughout the week. Like it was I enjoyed London a lot. I enjoyed the match a lot. Like even though we commented negatively on the performance against Bournemouth, I still was stoked to be there for the first time. Also, I have to big up two Polish teams in the Conference League for getting through to the quarterfinals. I know Conference League is nothing special in England, but for us and our football, it really matters, right? So big up to them. Although they probably both will get knocked out in the quarters because they play Betis and Chelsea. So I don't see them going through further. But yeah, but still, like for us, it's big. Just advancing to the tournament stage and then going through one of the rounds. It's really nice. And yeah, on the game itself, I felt like we were the better team today. As you said, it wasn't like special or anything. Like I don't want to like go overboard with the performance, even though I was trolling a bit in the group chat saying that Odobert again, ole and all that stuff, and I had Tony Rodriguez and Stefan and other guys going at me for shits and giggles, of course. But yeah, overall, as I said, I think we were the better team today. And when we talk about the goals, especially the third goal, as much as I want to criticize like Ange and his style of football and all that stuff, I think the third goal was superb. The way we played out of the backends and went through the whole pitch to score the goal. And yeah, overall, in terms of the European, the last 8 that are left, I've seen Frankfurt play today. I've seen them play a week ago. I think they are a brilliant attacking team, and the tie against them will be like way harder than what we had to face today and even a week ago. So I think I will still stick by to what I said. If you remember, before we played the first AZ Alkmaar match, you asked about like what chances do we have in the competition, and I said that I think we'll go through AZ Alkmaar. I think that the match against Frankfurt will be slightly Frankfurt favored. And I stick to that after watching them and us play. And I think even if you make it through them, then I think Lazio will probably knock us out. So, listen, I hope I'm wrong, right? I always say that, right? Whenever I make predictions
Is the second leg against Frankfurt at White Hart Lane or in Germany?
No, we play the first match at our ground, right? Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we play it at our ground first, then we play
that's the problem.
And same thing. If we get to semis, I think it's the same thing, right? We play the first leg of semis at our ground and the second leg at Lazio. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Lubo, you were at the game tonight. You said Spurs would win. By the way, guys, I just want to quickly let you know, Fenerbahce lost 3-1 in Turkey to Glasgow Rangers. And they've just gone to Rangers. They've won 2-0 on the night. Mourinho doing Mourinho things, okay? As you can't write this. And it's gone to penalties, and Fenerbahce have just missed the first penalty, I believe. So I'm going to keep you updated, because I tell you what, if Mourinho pulls this off, he's still got it, you know. If he pulls this one off, he's still got it. But we'll see. Lubo, you said to me on the phone today you fancy Spurs to win. I said to you, Lubo, look, I'm 50-50. I don't know. The last 2 games haven't filled me with confidence. I felt Spurs were the better team on the night. We deserved it. I don't think we were fantastic, although I do feel we were the better team. They had chances. They didn't take them. And in the end, it's cost them. But Spurs took their chances. And like Michael said, the third goal we scored tonight was sublime. That third goal was top stuff. I was doing the watch along, and I couldn't believe the build-up play. And then to get it to the penalty box and finish the way we did. It was a class goal. It really was. You were there. You were right. You said we'd win tonight. You called it.
Well, I put on the WhatsApp group goal of the season as soon as that went in, and that's how you beat a press. Thought it was superb, absolutely superb. Great dummy. The way Maddison let the ball run across him to open up the space in midfield. Just terrific. I thought we were comfortable. I thought the only thing Bergvall did wrong the whole game, unfortunately, was smack the ball against Odobert. Ball finished up in the back of our net. Took it well, didn't he? Was it Cooper Miners?
Yeah.
Absolutely buried it, didn't they? Apart from that, I thought Bergvall was just superb. What a great game! It's the best performance he's had in the Spurs shirt, and he bossed the midfield. Absolutely bossed it. 19 years old. What a talent we have there. He's going to be superb.
Can I ask you a question, okay? Whilst we're starting on this, because it is going to be the big talking point. Odebert had a good game, although I felt he was crap out wide. I thought when he came into the 10, he looked good. When he came more midfield, he looked good. I thought out wide, his crossing and not really much happened. When he came more inverted, he looked quite good. Bergvall, I thought, had an excellent game, other than the mistake he made. Do we just need to be careful when we get carried away with these players? Because let's have it right. AZ Alkmaar are nothing special. They're not a wow team. Are we comparing them to lesser opposition? Because unless they can do it against Frankfurt in the next game and they can do it against Lazio in the semis, then really they're not at that level yet, are they? Or do they deserve all the praise they should get? Because, come on, it's still a European tie.
I think I'm commenting on tonight's game. I'm not talking about a whole big position. I'm just talking about what I saw. We're on tonight and we're discussing this evening's game. I thought we won. I thought we were by far the better team. Typical Tottenham. How that guy didn't bury the header in the last few minutes, God only knows. But that's Tottenham, isn't it? Yeah. That's Tottenham.
Well, that's the fear, isn't it? If that's Lazio or Frankfurt, that's a goal.
Yeah,
it's a goal, isn't it? That's the fear.
It was really funny because that was a midfielder pretty much took the ball off Parrot's head, right? Because Parrot was behind him and he was in a way better position to shoot. And the midfielder or whoever it was, right, just spanked it over our bar, the header that you guys were talking about, right? But also, like, seeing the comments, right? I think all three of us aren't fooled by single performances. I think that's what's the most important thing when you analyze performances like that, right? And I will always say it. I think I will give praise when praise is deserved, but to make like overarching statements in terms of like how good a player is or whatever, one game is not enough, right? Because someone said it well. I think Odobert had a bit of a Brennan Johnson performance today, right? He wasn't doing much for the whole game and he ended up with 2 goals, right? Which were both tap-ins. So I just hope that the more reasonable fans don't go overboard with rating his performance. I also agree with Stel, like when he was out wide, just going to the touchline, I think he was like not really that effective. But when he started going inside and playing like an inverted role, I think it suited him way more than playing like to the sideline.
Rangers have just missed a penalty. It's tied at 2-2. Yeah, Michael, I agree. Like for me, Odebert, he doesn't impress me out wide. I think he's all right. But in the middle, he actually looked capable. He actually looked like he could cause some problems. Maybe, just maybe, he needs to be either an inverted wide player or a number 10. That's what it looks like to me. I'd like to see him play a bit more before I decide on that. But what do you make of it, Ian, with Odebert? Do you think he's more of an inside inverted player than a wide player the way we play him?
He played against Everton. Then he got injured. I think he played 72 minutes in total. He's come back. And as soon as he's back, Ange's got him straight into the team, pretty much. And you can see that as far as Postecoglou is concerned, I think Johnson's lost his space. I think he's...
Fenerbahce just missed the pen.
Just missed
the penalty. Yeah. Rangers need to score the next 2 and they've won it.
I think you're starting to see from the original 11 that Ange just kept playing. I think Spence is now the preferred choice instead of Udogie. Bergvall's now the preferred choice instead of Basuma. And I think Odebert's now the preferred choice instead of Johnson. So players are starting to...
And Mateus tells a waste of money and Mikey Moore's going to get completely mugged off.
So, yes, 100%, I think. 100%. So... that's the way.
But the thing is, if we're winning games, Ian, though, no one can complain. If Spurs get results, then no one can complain because that's what it's about at the end of the day, isn't it?
I do think, you know, I thought they were very sensible the way they pulled Van der Ven off after 60 minutes, because the last thing you want is pushing him too far too soon, and then he gets another injury. So for me, that was absolutely spot on.
Do you know what though? I think Ange got it a bit wrong. By the way, user, thanks for super chat. If Ange don't change, we're going out next round. He's going to have to be defensively more robust.
I've seen a few comments on here. Why Frankfurt are not Guardiola's Barcelona, for Christ's sake? Let's not get this completely out of perspective. They're fourth in the table. They've had a very average run.
Rangers are through. They've missed their last penalty for the Fenerbahce. He smashed it into the upper tier. He's absolutely screwed it. Yeah. Scenes at Glasgow. Glasgow Rangers into the quarterfinal. Unbelievable.
And they've got Bilbao next.
That's Rangers. Bye-bye.
Can I say, when I said to people Bilbao's a top team, and people said to me, oh, but Roma beat them. And I said, yeah, but they went down to 10 men. You watch. Bilbao was superb tonight. For me...
Roma went down to 10 men after 11 minutes.
After about 11 minutes still.
They went down to 10 men. But listen, Roma only beat 10-man Bilbao in the last minute of the game in Italy. Tonight, Bilbao, they owned them, man. I just think Bilbao, watching them play, they're the team to beat for me. Anyone who beats Bilbao will win the final. That's what I think. They're the team to beat. They're class. They're so good, and people will see it when we watch them play. As we get to that stage, I think we'll take note of them. They're really good, really good.
Agreed.
We'll see. Listen, you mentioned a few months ago. Still, if United got rid of Ten Hag, watch them as dark horses in Europe.
Yeah,
and they dispatched Sociedad comfortably tonight, haven't they? And everyone was saying how good a team Sociedad are. So
I don't think Man United will beat Bilbao though. I don't think they can do that.
Listen, it's cup football. Anything can happen.
They play Lyon now, right? I think they play.
United play Lyon, yeah.
Yeah, Lyon, yeah.
Yeah.
Why have we got an Arsenal fan on this show? What's going on? What's all this about?
What's up, guys? What's up?
Oh, big up, Stefan. Man, long time no see.
What's up, guys? I just saw your show, and I read that you needed six guests, and I look at your show, and it's only 3 people. That just shows the lack of enthusiasm that people have for this win.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said I'm only allowing a maximum 6 on tonight because people pop on as the show goes on, right? I said 6 maximum because when it gets to 7, 8, 9, it's everyone's talking over each other. Listen, Stefan, look, you're on. Listen, I don't mind what fans come on. It's an open platform.
Where is Stefan? He's hiding. Look. Mind you, having seen the way Arsenal got again this year, you know.
Yeah, I
don't want to do the Arsenal v Spurs thing tonight.
I mean, 2nd, 13th, but okay. Let's not do that tonight.
Stefan, what did you think of Spurs tonight? I don't know if you watched the game. What did you think of Spurs tonight?
I did. Honestly? I actually watched the game. I thought it was a very good game. I thought Alkmaar actually played, in terms of footballing wise, I thought they played better tonight than they actually played at their ground where they had the actual chances. I thought some of their touches and play was actually quite good. I thought you would qualify. I just thought you had too much for AZ Alkmaar, who are very much a Jekyll and Hyde type of team. They're great at home, but really poor away. But again, between me, I just, and you guys are gonna say it's Spurs, but I just really wasn't impressed with Spurs. I thought
you did where we mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, I thought the chances that you created, although you could argue that was good pressing, I thought. Especially the first goal was just absolute. Like, what was the AZ Alkmaar guy doing there? I thought Madison.
You could say the same for their goals as well. What the hell were we doing? We gave them a goal.
True. But yeah, true. Like they're, I'm just Frankfurt style are way better. Frankfurt are 3rd in the Bundesliga. They have one of the most. Fourth. Okay, still they were second before they sold their best player to Man City.
Yeah,
but they have one of the most informed forwards in Europe. They press really well, they break and counter really well, and at home they're really formidable. And I don't know who plays first at their where do you guys play
We're
first?
at home first. We're at home
our
first.
Okay, that's good for you guys, because I honestly think they're gonna wipe the floor with you in Frankfurt. I like they just beat Ajax 4-1. I watched the highlights. It should have been like 7-8-1.
Yeah, Ajax, they completely steamrolled them.
They steamrolled them, and Ajax play a very similar style to you, which is, Ajax are not going to set up to defend or set up with maybe a deeper block and try and. I watch your team and I just think they're poorly coached. Bergvall, I'm reading a lot of praise for him. I'm sorry, guys. I don't see it. I just see a headless chicken that runs around.
Who, Bergvall?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I don't see
Really,
the hype
Stefan? He looked really good tonight for Tottenham.
I disagree. He made the mistake for the first. He made the mistake after Alkmaar's goal.
That mistake. Fair play, but are we going to judge 90 minutes of football on that honestly, 1 second moment?
No. Stop. I'm not judging him on that. Honestly, he reminds me. Do you know of who he reminds me? He reminds me of Ander Herrera from Man United, where he looks busy the whole game and runs around a lot. But if you actually look at the essence of his performance and what he actually does, it's not that good. And then the other thing, which is down to coaching, I'm not going to blame him, is his defensive awareness style and his positioning is atrocious. The amount of times that they broke through the middle because he left his position in terms of to go press, but I don't know if that's down to him or if that's down to the coaching. It's probably down to the coaching and the way he is taught within that system. But I just look at your team and I just think Frankfurt are far better. They have a really good coach. They've got some great players. They've got that midfielder that everybody is linked with. I forgot his name. He's really good. I think he's Swedish. Larsson, I think. Lawrence. He's really good. So I don't know. I'm just not convinced by every time I watch them. And today I watched Van de Ven and Romero, and it was the same shit. Like, there was one chance. I don't know if you saw it. Romero again. I know you guys. I honestly think the only
he played a poor pass and gave it to their striker who hit it wide.
Not that. No. That's the given for Romero. Every game he does that. But what he does, which is for me, for someone that's so experienced, is unforgivable. Is that 2-1? I think you were leading 2-1 or 3. You were leading. Their only chance was the Troy Parrott shot, which then led to the guy on the left shooting, and then Bissouma blocked it. That chance happened because Romero, again, like a moron, went to try and close the fullback area for some reason, left his space completely, and Parrott ran into that space and then shot. That could have easily been a goal because of Romero again. He does that almost every game. He did that against Ipswich when you lost at home. He did that against Newcastle. He continuously does these.
Stefan, right? Just I want to pick up on 3 things you said. Right, then I want to get Mark in because I want to hear what Mark has to say. Right, I agree with you. Against Frankfurt, I think we're in trouble. I do actually agree. I think it's a completely different game.
They're really good, though. They're really good.
I said we'd beat AZ Alkmaar. I said we'd beat this lot, but then I lost some confidence and I said tonight 50-50, okay? But I always at the back of my head felt this is one game we'd end up beating because we just got better players. So I do agree Frankfurt's going to be a different kettle of fish, and I think we're in trouble. I do. I disagree with Bergvall, right? And I'll give you an example. Our midfielders are asked to do way too much because there's no structure to the midfield.
I agree.
Playing without a 6 causes chaos for us. Bergvall tonight, I saw him pick up the ball, dink it past one player. The second player comes, he knocks it round him as well, runs diagonally across the pitch after dinking it past 2 players and pings it out wide. He gets us going. Like Bergvall, and he's very physical, and a lot of our midfielders don't have that physicality. So I think for a young lad in the most hardest position, centre mid, I think he's doing all right. Okay, I'm not going to blow smoke out of his ass. I think. Wait, hear me out, Stefan.
Yeah.
I think he's doing all right, and I think he gets way too much criticism. The other thing I will say with Romero, many people do it. Do you know that? Yeah, Sam definitely thinks he's bang average.
I just had to get
right. But with Romero, what I'll say with Romero is he has divided the Spurs fan base this year. Some fans think that it's the manager's fault. Some fans think get rid of him, he's overrated. Some fans think that it's the coaching. So he divides opinion. Romero divides opinion at the moment. So look, I want to get Mark in, and then look, I'll come back to everyone.
So I just just one little follow up for the actual for the Bergvall point. Another player that he reminds me again is Guendouzi when he first came to Arsenal, which is Guendouzi looked exactly like Bergvall, which was he's really busy during the game, he's affecting it, he's getting on the ball a lot, but then if you actually kind of if you actually just move yourself out of that, just watching him be on the ball a lot, he doesn't do that much. He just runs around a lot. And Guendouzi used to do that where he'd try and make these runs or try and run with the ball and force the ball, which Bergvall does a lot. And that's why one of, I would say, his biggest weaknesses, which is also down to coaching, Guendouzi, hopefully Bergvall is more receptive to coaching than Guendouzi. But what Bergvall does is he loses the ball a lot.
Yeah, I think to follow up on what you said, right? I think he's like, obviously because of the age, I think he's at that crucial like step of development where you can notice like the raw talent in him. I enjoy watching him like carry the ball, even seeing him live on the weekend just past, right? Like I think he carries the ball quite well. He dribbles with the ball quite well, right? I think there is a midfielder there. But as you said, I think right now what he needs is someone to point out his mistakes and teach him how to avoid them, right? Because as much as he like carries the ball successfully like 75% of the time, right? That 25% of the time that he loses, or like just take the percentages vaguely, right? I'm just giving it for the sake of it, right? But as much as he like carries the ball successfully often, right, he also loses it, and when he loses it, I think it's in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
So like a couple of times today against Bournemouth and other games I've seen Bergvall play, I think when he loses the ball, like it leads to a dangerous transition, and I feel like this team of ours, what they struggle with the most is getting transitioned on, because our like we don't coach defending at this club for some unknown reason. So we've talked about it plenty of times with Stel and other guys, right? I feel like our team is just like running back towards the goal when we get transitioned on, and nobody knows which player to pick up, how to keep shape and all that stuff, right? So I think, and I'm not sure if Ange is the guy to teach him those things, right? But overall, still, I think that like there is talent there, and I agree with Stel, right? As much as he is young and makes mistakes, I think there is a bit too much criticism on him, especially when you compare it to criticism towards other players. I feel like some other players are getting away with it, and then we have this like 19-year-old that's just getting all the shit from the fan base because he loses a ball once or twice or does a rash tackle, right? I honestly prefer seeing that than just like limp dick performances from Bissouma and Bentancur, right?
Yeah,
because those two just, you know, that they don't enjoy the physical battle. They hide away from the ball, and at least what I can give Bergvall is the fact that he has balls and actually demands the ball and carries it, right?
Michael, this season the two
But wait,
most.
Stefan, I want to get Mark in because
Sorry.
I
Go,
wanted to come in. Quick super chat from a user who says, yes, we got the result we wanted, but we showed again we get opened up so easily and make stupid mistakes against a tougher side. We're going to get spanked. A user, I don't think spanked, but I agree we're not going to win. And that's why I don't think we're going to win the Europa Cup, just like I thought we're not going to win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or get top four. But that said, we do have the sheriff in town. He's polished his badge. He's come here.
I've done what?
The sheriff's badge.
Well, you know what
How you doing, Mark? You're right. Good to have you on the show, mate. What do you make of tonight, then? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, we won. We were the better team, undoubtedly, but we were all worried, weren't we? After last week, you know, we were all worried. You know, are we going to do it? Are we gonna step up, or is it going to be a 0-0? We can't break them down. But to be honest, I thought AZ was going to sit back the whole game. You know what I mean? You know, like a low block us. But
True,
they
yeah,
actually,
true. Yeah.
but they actually come out and, especially at the start of the second half, they were like pressing us, you know. And you know, there's still a lot of improvements that the team need to make, in my opinion. You know, yeah, we beat them tonight, but this is where the competition starts now. You know, because all the well, I don't want to be disrespectful, but all the bozo teams are out now, aren't they? You know, this is the serious stuff now. It's only like the half sensible and good ones that are left. So if we're not on our if we're not on it, we're going to go out. It's as simple as that. You know, so
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, you know, oh, come on, Frankfurt aren't that great. Guys, we're 13th in the league. We struggled against Bournemouth. We struggled against, who was it before? We struggled at AZ Alkmaar away. Tonight, if AZ Alkmaar score that header, we're going to extra time. So, you know, this is why we say these things. It's not because we're negative. It's because we're proven right. We're proven right every time with this.
But still, I also think that tonight, if we're gonna focus, because we said Bergvall was good, I thought the most disappointing performance tonight was Solanke. I thought he got dominated by the Alkmaar defenders.
He doesn't get service. We don't get service to Solanke.
He does get service though. He loses the ball.
No, we don't.
So much.
We don't.
Listen, Solanke was unselfish.
Listen, let me tell you something. Last week,
we got 2 assists tonight.
Yeah, he was very unselfish.
I sat there.
I don't think he was
sat there on Sunday in the stadium with Michael, and I watched Bournemouth play. Right, Michael and I both sat there with his brother. We watched Bournemouth play, and at the end of the game, do you know what was going through my head? I totally understand why Solanke got 19 goals playing for Bournemouth. I totally get it.
Yeah,
and that for me is the difference. I don't think he's a great striker, but if you're half decent and you do what Bournemouth does, you're going to score goals.
Yeah.
Jermaine Defoe would score 19, 20 goals in that team. You know, a half decent. Well, Defoe's better than Solanke, but you know, if you've got someone that can score and you play the way Bournemouth play, listen, I think the way Bournemouth plays is completely different to us, and it suits him more. It's difficult with Solanke because we expect him to be like Harry Kane or to be like Berbatov. He's never going to be that player. He's never going to be that player. He's not at that level, man. He's not. He's not that player.
I think my issue with Solanke's performance today was the fact that whenever we tried to play it long, he didn't win the ball. And it's not the first game, like against Bournemouth, actually, when we were sitting in the stadium, Stelios, like pretty much most times when Vicario played the ball long, I felt like Dean Huijsen and the other centre back for Bournemouth, they were like dealing with Solanke physically, which is kind of surprising for me because he's not like the smallest guy, but it's been like 2 or 3 games in a row where I feel like he physically didn't match up against the centre backs. Is it worrying? I don't know. Like I as I said at the beginning, I won't make like overarching conclusions based on 3 games, but it's a thing to worry about in my opinion, right? But overall, I feel like I feel like in his like when he wasn't asked to play with his back towards the goal, like receiving long balls, but rather playing short on the ground, I feel like he was quite okay today, right? I just feel like his performance are really like strange and like I don't know how to describe them because we had the same discussions for the whole season, right? And I feel like he's a bit of a sacrificial lamb in this system, right? But I don't want to excuse everything because of the sacrificial lamb tag, right? There is still plenty of things I think he could do better, right? So for me, it's a bit of a mixed bag, his performances. I don't necessarily know how to. I don't think it's shit, but I don't think it's like great, right? Because plenty of people will say he had great performance. Plenty of people say he had shit performance. I'm kind of like in the middle, I would say. I
I just don't know. Frankfurt for me are. I think Frankfurt also, the way they play, they play with, if I'm not mistaken, 3 at the back.
Yep.
And that is your biggest. You suck against three at the back teams.
They play 3-5-2. They play a 3-5-2.
You suck against 3 at the back. You struggle extreme because they always play with a low block because when they're without the ball, they defend with 5, and then usually 3 at the back means they have really rapid full wing backs and usually 2 strikers that are quite fast, both on the break. And that is exactly, from watching the highlights today, because I don't watch Frankfurt that often, but that is exactly what they have. Exactly. And it's
do you know what? It was funny, right? It was funny. We're doing the watch along. And I was saying to the guys at the start of the game, what's going to happen with Vermeer and Van der Ven? Because they haven't got 90 minutes in them. One of them is going to have to come off. And then when we took off Van der Ven, I said, guys, I'm worried. Van der Ven's been doing a lot of the tracking back tonight. If I was the AZ Alkmaar manager, I would target where Van der Ven has come off. I'd target that space. And literally, Van der Ven went off. Gray came. What they did. Yeah. Gray tracked his man back okay. But as soon as the ball got squared into that space where Van der Ven was, they hurt us and we fucked it up. And that was my fear. Do you know what else? Listen, I'm going to say it. I thought we got really, really lucky. And I'll tell you why.
Really?
First goal, it started from a goal kick. It wasn't a goal kick. It was meant to be a corner.
Yeah.
Never in a million years was it a goal kick. Sarr headed it off the pitch and he's given a goal kick. And from that goal kick, we scored the first goal. And the third goal, go look what happened. Again, it wasn't a goal kick. So 2 decisions. Listen, I don't care we've won, right? But the referee was on our side tonight, guys. Have no doubt. There was 2 decisions where it should have been a corner to Alkmaar. He gave a goal kick. And they've come up the other end.
Yeah, but still, for the third goal, I would agree with you. But why are AZ Alkmaar pressing from the front? What are you doing? Like, this is what I mean with Dutch teams that they don't know how to play tactical and defensive. Why would you do that? It's the first 5-10 minutes after you've scored a goal. Stay a bit more compact. Wait a little bit. Be
but they did. They dropped off. Whenever the centre backs.
No, they didn't. For the third goal, for the third goal, they tried to press you guys literally from the front with a really high line.
For the third goal, you just got to take your hat and say, "Fucking well done, Spurs." That was a top class goal we scored.
Yeah.
That was an exceptional goal we scored, man. Listen,
playing into your
no, Stefan, listen. I bash Ange, and I am one of the most critical fans out there. That was a top goal we scored, man. It really was. Okay. It was. You got to give us some credit, man.
It was a nice goal. Don't get me wrong. The way you played out the back.
It's a fantastic goal.
Yes, but it
was 1-2 touch football all the way to the goal. Even the finish was brilliant.
It wasn't. It all stemmed from Madison dummying the player and opening up the massive space.
But look how the ball got to Madison. Look how the ball got to him.
Okay, but Madison created that whole play. If Madison,
that's his job. That's his job.
Okay. But my point is that how can you allow in the 75th minute to have all your center midfielders pretty much in Spurs' box, and then how can you do that stupid? It reminded me a little bit
because they were going for the win, Stefan. They were going for the win.
Okay, well, and they lost, but the final thing it reminded me of 2 days.
But you got to put some praise on that goal, man. You can't just say but Madison this, but this. That was a top goal. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
It's a top goal. You guys took advantage and it was a great play, great goal. But it reminded me a lot of PSG Liverpool 2 days ago, where Slot watched the Paris game, where he saw that he doesn't have the athletes that PSG have, and decided literally not to change anything and play with the same high line out of sheer arrogance against PSG wingers.
PSG should have smashed Liverpool in the first leg. Do you know that? I think PSG is the best. PSG and Barcelona are the 2 best teams I've seen in the Champions League.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Inter is the best team in the Champions League.
No, in terms of on the eye, those 2 teams.
On the eye, yeah, of course.
On the eye.
But for me, if you watch the way Inter played PSG and Arsenal played and Inter, they nullified PSG because they didn't give them space to
Anyway, listen, Stefan, I don't care about Champions League. We're not in it, right? We're talking about Europa Cup, the best European competition known to mankind.
That's true. Well, guys, I have to go. I'll leave you guys alone. I just want to know from all of you, what's your prediction, honest prediction on who's going to win Europa League?
Europa League.
Atletico Bilbao for me.
Bilbao.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the finals, they're grand.
Yeah, they just look. I think they're my favourites.
Or Lazio.
Or Lazio, yeah.
I think Bilbao.
I'm going for
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, guys.
Frankfurt. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going for Frankfurt. Yeah.
Stefan, have you seen Frankfurt's league form for the last 2 months?
Yes, their league form is cratered.
Is it 6 points out of 24?
They've lost the last
true.
3, I think, or they've not won the last 3.
They lost to St. Pauli on Saturday, who are 5th from bottom. They lost at home. They got smacked by Leverkusen at home the week before.
True.
Well, Leverkusen are second in the league. So.
And everybody's talking about like prime Barcelona under Pep, this Frankfurt team.
Yeah, but Ian, we lost to Leicester City, Crystal Palace, and Ipswich, and we're just about beat Tamworth.
Still, we've been poor this season. My point is that everybody's talking about how great Frankfurt are. They're not great. This is a 50-50 tie. Believe me.
But
this is 50-50.
But the reason why I'm basing it is that they remind me a lot of the team 2 or 3 years ago that were crap in the league, but they won the Europa League, and then the season after that, they won the German Cup, where they were crap in the league again. They're a good cup team over the last few years. Their style of play is extremely suited to that. And Lazio, for all of the praise that they've gotten, barely got it over the line today against Victoria Pilsen.
Correct.
That's fair enough, by the way. Like,
but they were through, man. They were through. Lazio were through.
Oh,
yeah, but barely. You have no idea. Victoria Pilsen had a number of chances in the last.
That's what Italian teams do, man. That's Italians for you.
Okay, true. Yeah, true. But for me, Bilbao, I think maybe because they're gonna play in the final. But I like Frankfurt. They have one of the most informed attackers in the competition, and they just seem to turn it on.
Bilbao have lost 1 game in the last 16, I believe, in Spain, or 2 in 16. They're gonna qualify for champion, mate. Bilbao, I don't think people realize they're a really fucking good team, man. Like, really good.
They have. 3 or 4 really. They have Nico Williams.
The only team that's beaten them, I think, in the last 4 or 5 months, correct me if I'm wrong, is Barcelona, who are outstanding.
Atletico beat them like a week ago, but it's Atletico, right? So
yeah.
However, though, guys, check for me the biggest difference between all those teams that you named, Lazio and Bilbao. If you look at their home record, great in Europe. Away record, really not great. Lazio have struggled away from home in the league, and so whilst Frankfurt, I think, travel better. Their tactics for me, I like a 3 at the back for a cup competition. That's why for the Champions League,
depends who you're playing against. Depends who you're playing against, man. You can't just. Look, I said back in just before Christmas, I said if Man United get rid of Ten Hag and bring in Amorim, they will become dark horses for the Europa. And then everyone laughed at me.
They're shit, still.
Stefan, everyone laughed at me, right? I said dark horses. That doesn't mean favourites. Doesn't mean they're going to win it. It means don't write them off. And I'm telling you, do not write off Man United in this competition. If there's one thing we know about Man United, they can be shit and win a trophy. Ten Hag won 2 trophies with a poor Man United team.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
It's in the DNA, right, man. They've got it. And Amorim is a good manager. I don't think he's crap.
He is.
I don't think Man United will win it, guys. I don't think Man United will win it, but don't write them off. And I tell you what, if Spurs played Man United in the final, I would be shitting it. I'd rather play someone else. I'd hate to play them in the final.
No, you can see even he's a very good tactical, like even
brilliant. You fancy us against Man United.
No, even against Arsenal at Old Trafford, you could see that he changed the system two or 3 times in that game, and he has kind of sussed us out in terms of if he has to play with a low block and play ugly football to win, he will do it, and that's what I like about him. He's flexible, but still, their forwards are horrendous. I watched the highlights today of Real Sociedad. Højlund and Xerxes. Watch some of the shots that Højlund does. It's not
Yeah, I
even.
know. I don't rate
championship.
them. I don't rate Man United. I don't rate them. I don't think they're a good team. But I'm just saying, don't write them off. It's just
And still, the penalty they got today, the second one.
the second one was a joke. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. Yeah,
it was an absolute joke.
Yeah, it was a joke.
I honestly think that, as I told you before we started the show, Stars, I think Sociedad, like they shut in their own mouth, like we have a saying in Polish. Like seriously, 2 red cards, 2 penalties in the second game. What the fuck were they doing? Like in both legs, right? I'm not saying they deserve to win or anything, right? But I don't think it could have been easier for United, right?
But
when they play
Michael,
against men twice.
See, this is the thing though with Man United. Okay, Man United didn't shit the bed, and when Man United played Man City in the FA Cup final last year, they turned up. This is what I mean. They've got it in them. They've got it in them to pull something out of the hat. They are the opposite to Spurs. We get into that good position and we shit the bed. We piss the bed. We literally get flu. We completely lose it, man.
No, honestly, I agree with you, but this is gonna sound bad, but I honestly think Man City took them really lightly for that final, and I honestly think Real Sociedad also I watched the first game in Sociedad. Some of the stuff from Real Sociedad with the high line, I was like, have you not watched Man United? The only thing they can do going forward is counter. Why are you giving Garnacho space to run? And Højlund is shit. He's more of a sprinter than a footballer. He can only run. That's all he can do. And Sociedad were playing as if they had done no tactical.
But Man United won. But Man United won.
I get it, but
they won.
I just have a feeling Sociedad didn't take them seriously.
Who have they got next? Man United. Who have they got in the next round?
Leon.
Oh,
they're going to knock them out.
Leon away is
Man United are going to knock out Leon.
Away
You watch.
Is always tough. Huh?
You watch. Anyway, listen. Back to Spurs, man. Too much about Man United and everyone else. I've got a couple of super chats here. I want to get Ian in because he's been dying to speak and he keeps getting cut off. A user says, give Bergvall credit. He's only 18 and new to the Premier League. For fuck's sakes, I agree. Dietrich Kane says, Stefan, you're all chest. When it comes to Spurs, you need to focus on Madrid. A user says, Stefan, show us how it's done against Madrid. Listen, they've got a point.
Don't bite, Stefan. Don't bite.
Show us how it's done against Madrid. Okay.
Big up Sanilla, by the way. We met him at the Bournemouth game. Michael, this is the guy we met. Do you remember the guy with the orange? Yeah. Big up to Sanilla. Those substitutions hurt us more than helped us. I kind of agree with that. But look, we won the game. That's all that matters. Lubo, I think there's a couple of points you wanted to talk about there. Keep cutting you off.
No, I'm just reading some of the comments. Why can't people be happy? It's been such an appalling season. We've had so many bad results, and when we have a decent result, and we were by far the better team today. You know, if unfortunately Bergvall hit that pass too hard to Odebear, ball bounced out, and the good boys put it in the corner of the nets. You know, if we'd have won 3-0, that for me that wouldn't have been an unfair result. I don't think. I'm sorry. Why aren't people happy when we win? Why have people got to moan and complain and say Bergvall's not generational? We're going to get smashed by Frankfurt. Why can't just enjoy tonight? Just enjoy it. You know, Frankfurt will come round in 5 weeks' time. We'll see where we are. You know, who knows? Who knows? When you're in the cup, you just don't know. You wouldn't think with the form that we've been showing this season that we've got a chance. But we're in the quarterfinals. We're in the last 8, and when you're in the last 8, you've got a chance. So
did Frankfurt? Wasn't it Glasner that won the Europa Cup with Frankfurt a couple of years ago?
Yeah. And then the season after that, he won the German Cup.
He's
and they have exactly the same system. They've always had Frankfurt, a really hot forward. They had Luka Jovic 3 or 4 years ago. Now they have the French kid. What was it? Hugo Ekitike, I think his name.
Ekitike, and they also bought the Marseille striker.
Listen, guys, I think
really good.
I don't think Frankfurt are going to batter us, right? I don't. I think what's going to happen is we're going to give them one hell of a game at our ground. We might win it by a goal. We might draw. But what I think will happen, and this is my concern, I think that second leg is the problem. I don't think necessarily football-wise they'll just beat us. My concern is whether we can handle the pressure of that away leg in their stadium on the game that decides who goes through.
What is their stadium like for atmosphere?
Oh,
it's typical German stadium.
Ground.
Yeah,
it's a typical European away night, mate. It's one of those.
Yeah, but it's also German, right? So pump it up a bit than what you think, so right? The atmosphere there, it's like
no, guys. Frankfurt away is one of the toughest. Bayern Munich really struggle away. To Frankfurt away is a super tough game. Their fans get really into it, like pretty much every German team, and it's a European night. Frankfurt also, don't forget, have European heritage. They do from they're a historic team.
Listen, the Wild Stadion it's got a name. I think it's 59,000 seater stadium. It's going to be rocking. But the thing is, if Spurs in the first leg can get a 2-goal advantage, hypothetically, it does silence them. It does silence them a bit. If we win the first leg 2-0, 3-1, it does silence them a bit. If we go into the second leg, either 1-0 down, 1-0 up, or a draw, you're making them favourites. If the second leg was at White Hart Lane, you never know. But
no, it's the same. Yeah.
I think if it was the reverse order, it would be similar situation to today, right? We went to AZ Alkmaar and shut the bed, right? We didn't have a shot on goal. Then AZ Alkmaar came to our ground. I honestly think they were a bit like starstruck, or however you want to call it. I think the stadium works against the team that comes, right? When you see a 62,000 seater stadium, right? And listen, like I have to be honest though, like I had 2 games today on, right? On this screen I had our game, on this screen I had Legia Warsaw, right? And when I compared the atmosphere between like our ground and Legia Warsaw, like let's just call it that our ground isn't the noisiest, right, out there, but I still think it can like leave an impression on a player. And so that's why, and it works both ways, right? So unfortunately, if we come to their ground for the second leg, right, I think our players can, feel the pressure. Right?
Which Michael, let me add, is fucking bullshit. They should be coming to your ground in the second leg because you guys finished higher in the Champions League group stage. The same way Arsenal is going to the Bernabeu in the second leg, which is bullshit. Arsenal finished third in the top 8, finished far higher than Real Madrid. So Arsenal should get the home leg.
Why are Spurs playing both the next 2 games as the away leg away?
It's bullshit.
They just drew it, right? It's So
there's no point. There's no point. Spurs finishing second, third.
You were like the teams that finished in top 8 were seeded for the first match, right? So for the round of 16, I think the teams that finished in the top 8 were the teams that played home the second game, right? But from that point onwards, it was a draw, right?
Yeah. But Michael, they should do it like in the NBA and the NFL. If you have the best record in the regular season, when you play in the playoffs, if you had a better record in the regular season than the team that you're playing in the playoffs, you get home advantage. You should deserve.
I agree. By the way,
yeah, it's bullshit. That's unlucky now because if Frankfurt gets something out of that game, you're screwed. Going to the same if Real Madrid gets something out of the Emirates. If let's say they it's over because you're going to Frankfurt. Super difficult game. They're going to be so up for it. And it's a massive advantage that we're going to finish off the actual tie at our ground. For me, what's the point of playing these group stages of trying to finish in the top 8 when you don't even get that advantage once the knockout stages start? What's the point of that then?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, speaking of being unlucky, right? I have to mention it. It like with all due respect to Liverpool, right? But they finished first, and then they got PSG in the round of 16, right? If you really wanted to sell,
Arsenal get PSV and Liverpool get PSG.
But wait, why did they get PSG? People forget because
Yeah,
they
because
lost
PSG
to
was
PSV.
shit.
No,
Yeah,
because they
also-
lost to PSV. They would have gotten PSV if they had beaten PSV in the last game. But because they lost to
They
PSV,
finished top of the Champions League whole table, man.
yes, I know they did still. But if they had beaten PSV in their last game, they would have gotten PSV probably. Because they lost to PSV, PSV moved up, so Arsenal got them.
In fact, you know what? Can we stop talking about Champions League, right?
Sorry.
This is Spurs versus AZ Alkmaar. By the way, Snilla, big up to you again. I'm booking my flights in the hotel in Bilbao. Snilla,
don't
listen,
do it.
don't do it. Don't do it. I hope you get a refund. Oh, Stefan's gone. Well, he came on and he said his bit, so fair enough. Tonight, the stats were quite interesting. Complete opposite of the last game when we played them. We had more possession, but not as much as the last game. We had a bit less this time. We had 60% to 40%. When we played at their ground, we had, I think, 68%. But shots, we had a lot more shots this game, 17 compared to last time. They had 10. We had 4 on target. They had 2. Passes, we almost doubled them, but obviously we had more possession. Clear-cut chances, we had 2. They had 1. I'm sure they had more than 1 clear-cut chance. But anyway, 2 versus 1. Look, Spurs were the better team overall if you look at the stats. And I think, you know, if anyone says Spurs didn't deserve it, they're lying.
Yeah.
And overall, we did what we needed to do. So we got to praise the boys. We've got to praise Ange as well, because he got a tune out of them. You know, that was the big thing. People will begin to say that they're not playing for him and then they don't care. Maybe, guys, do you think that what's going on right now is they've given up in the league because they know the league's pointless? Like, what are they playing for in the league? And it's just hard to get motivated. Whereas in the Europa, it's an opportunity, 1, to win a trophy, and 2, if we win the Europa, we're back in the Champions League. It's a double whammy. Sorry, it's a double bonus. So do you think the players are just more motivated in the Champions League than what they are in the league at the moment?
It wouldn't surprise me. It honestly wouldn't surprise me, because let's face it, like, we're not getting relegated.
No.
And we're not going to get, like, well, our further European places go down. I know we still could mathematically, but like,
I think we're 11 points off of it with 10 games to go, so it's a big ask.
Yeah,
and we've still got to go away to Anfield, away to Chelsea, away to West Ham, and it's just it looks very unlikely, right?
Yeah, it's highly unlikely, and so we're not getting none of that. So to be honest, it's human nature, isn't it? That they're going to be up for a cup game, you know, or something win. You know, that's my views on it anyway.
Lubo, you were there tonight. What did you sense a difference in the team, the way they played, the effort? Do you sense a difference in the atmosphere with the fan base?
Fans were much better. Much more singing from the South Stand tonight. They got behind the team. You know, it was a proper support. The support this year, and you know, the people blame the fans, you know, for being quiet, but you know, we've had nothing to cheer about. So for me, I thought the fan base was far better in the ground. I thought Spurs played better today. Listen, it is only Alkmaar. You know, we haven't beaten the top team today. You know, for me, I said, I think on your show still, that I felt, you know, I looked at our league record against top half teams and bottom half teams this season, and we've got 15 out of 26, I think, something like that, or 17. I think it's 50, something like that, against the bottom clubs, against the bottom 9 teams, the other 9 teams, and I put Alkmaar in that bracket. So for me, I thought we'd win. I thought it would have been appalling if we'd have lost. The bloke should have walked tomorrow morning if we'd have gone out to this lot. And listen, we're through. We're in the quarters. I've said all along that we're one of 5 or 6 teams that I think could win the Europa. So 5 or 6 brings you to the quarterfinals. So we're where I expected to be. Whether we'll go forward or not, I don't know. You know, Mickey and Romero will will have more games under their belt. Kulu will probably be back.
Oh yeah, Kulu. Got him.
That's right. Bergvall will get better. Odebear now seems to have his place. He'll have more games. Spence wasn't up to the high standards of the last few games, but still felt he had a decent game. Maddison, I thought, was excellent as well today. There were a lot of positives. So, we're not playing for 4 more weeks. A lot can happen in 4 weeks.
I think it's before then, isn't it?
No, 4 weeks time. 10th of April, 10th and 17th of April.
4 weeks until we play Frankfurt.
So when are they going to have the semi? So when are the semi-finals going to be?
The semi-finals are the 1st and the 8th of May.
And what are the finals end of May?
21st.
Yeah, the final is after the last game week, right? Or
no.
It's, so Champions League. Champions League is after,
Brighton.
right?
Brighton's the last game, and the finals the Wednesday before the last Sunday.
Imagine we get to the final, lose it. That Brighton game is going to be like a funeral. Oh. It's going to be like a bloody cemetery.
Who knows?
Well,
it'd be like, and he seems to pull it out of the. It was a bit like Ten Hag. Everybody said, Ten Hag's going to get the sack if he loses this or loses the next two. And
he didn't pull it out of the hat against Liverpool. Ten Hag won trophies. He won trophies.
Realistically, we're far too open to win this trophy. But, while you're in it, you just don't know. It can, the opposition you're playing can have a player sent off. There can be injuries. There can be bad refereeing decisions. You just don't know. With the way the game is, there are so many different variables. And I'm not being delusional. I haven't got rose-tinted glasses. We have been absolutely ranked this season. But we're still in it. And, and when you get to the last 8, you got a chance. And Frankfurt have been poor since they sold Mamouche to City. One win.
They weren't poor tonight, Ian.
Who, Frankfurt? I mean, how good are Ajax?
The top of the Dutch league.
No, I know, but how good are Ajax? I'm just saying in terms of.
AZ Alkmaar is 6th in the Dutch league.
Yeah.
So there's your difference. PSV top and Arsenal battered them. So I think there's a big gulf. There is a big gulf. I would say Frankfurt. Let me get the English league table. I would say Frankfurt, the equivalent of playing someone like. Do you know what they're like? Imagine Nottingham Forest, but with a bit more up front. That's kind of what we're up against.
But they play way more offensively, right?
That's what I mean. With a bit more up front.
Yeah.
In terms of their
even like the whole.
Actually,
setup,
they're not as defensively good as Forest.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? The Forest, even no matter if they play back 4 or back 5, they usually just sit back and counter, right? Whereas
they're a bit of a Newcastle. Would you say they're a bit of a Newcastle?
Yeah, I think that's a better.
They're a bit of a Newcastle, aren't they?
They went to Bayern Munich about 6-8 weeks ago, didn't they? They got smacked 4-0. Leverkusen smacked them on their own ground 4-1 the other week.
Bayern Munich beat us 7-2 when we played them.
And they lost to a team that's 5th from bottom on Saturday.
But Bayern Munich pulled our pants down with Son and Kane up front.
Yeah, by the way,
it was 10-2. It was 10-2 over the 2 legs.
I mean,
but by the way, 10-3, I think, right? We lost 7-2 and 3-1.
10-2, 10-3. We got back.
That's
10.216.
Yeah, but I wanted to say that I actually agree with Ian that I think people are I think because of how the tie is, the fact that we played the second leg at their ground, I think that makes them slight favorites just because of the mental thing and all that stuff, right? But I think people are overrating them a lot. I don't think they are this almighty side that's going to wipe the floor with us. I feel like we can that I see a world where we actually win this tie, not comfortably, right? But I can see a world where we, for example, we win the first leg, let's say 3-1, because I don't think that even though they play a back three, I don't think they are a solid back three system. that's like fully focused on defending.
Their away record in Europe has been pretty damn good, though, Michael.
Yeah. Like of course, like I'm not. That's why I said I don't put like favorites either side. I like maybe slightly towards them, right? But I don't think it's a wipeout. Like plenty of people like want this game to be.
Yeah, we're
right?
not getting battered. I don't think we're getting battered.
That's what I'm saying,
I
right?
don't,
And
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on Son tonight? Because again, he came under a criticism again in the comments when we were doing the watch along. Fans are saying crap, rubbish. He pressed really well to get possession for the first goal.
Yeah.
He did square the ball back for Maddison for the second goal.
Yeah.
So he did contribute to the goals, but overall performance, a lot of fans were criticising him again. What you know?
I thought he started really poorly.
Yeah.
He got into the game after the pressing for the first goal.
Big up.
And he was sort of a bit in and out. There was a lot of good, a lot of bad, sort of second half.
Yeah.
But it's not the Sonny of old, that's for sure.
No. I was just about to say that, Ian. He's not the son of old, is he?
There are flashes, aren't there? But it's not Sonny of 2 years ago.
No.
He misses his power, doesn't he? He was in Germany.
Do you know what? Talking about Harry Kane, right? Talking about Kane, have you seen these stats since he's been in Germany? 81 games, 76 goals, 23 assists. He is blowing it out of the freaking water. He is on fire, man. He's class. Class A. Do you know one thing I've noticed about Sonny? I don't know why he does this. He gets the ball and then he cuts in. He might beat a man or he'll keep running across the box. And a little gap opens up and you're thinking, shoot. He doesn't shoot. Then when the defenders shut him down, then he shoots and he goes straight into the defenders. Do you know what? He does it a lot. And I just say to myself, why are you waiting until the shot is impossible to shoot? When you get that little... Do you think the brain and the legs aren't at the same speed like they used to be? And he's just lost that yard of... Not pace, but that yard of decision-making. The speed of thought isn't...
Yeah.
It's not there as it used to be.
I think he lost the explosiveness, right? So, like 2 or 3 years ago when Son got into that position, right? And he just, skipped past the player and went on his right foot, right? That shot was like 3 milliseconds after he took the step to the right, the shot was already off, right? It was just like a rapid strike, right? Whereas I feel like I see him like trotting along a bit, right? He goes on the right, right? And it's almost as if he has to like prepare a shot. Like it's not as rapid as it used to be, right? He's losing the explosiveness and he's losing the sharpness and the quickness, in my opinion, right? Which is a normal thing to happen to a player, right? I just feel like it's happening to him a bit faster than probably some of us expected, right? I didn't think like he would be this. He's not slow, right? But compared to what he used to be, I think he's trying to do the same things he was doing a couple years ago, and they aren't working necessarily. And I feel like he has to adapt his style and he has to adapt his game a bit to the slower legs, right?
I think so. I think he needs to adapt his game. Matt, how you doing, bro? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Dal. Hi, Michael, Ian. And
Evening.
first time I've been on with Mark, so hope everybody's well. Yeah, really good, thank you. Look, I think it's the result more than the performance, and I thought we rode our luck. For the neutral, we must be the favourite team to watch if you're a neutral, because we must be for a neutral. Go and watch a Tottenham game because it has a little bit of everything. We're naive. I couldn't understand when Archie Gray come on, and he's going into midfield. He's replacing Van der Ven, but he's going into midfield to go and press the ball. And I'm thinking, who's instructing him? You know, he's a willing, enthusiastic young player. Surely the people on the pitch tell him, listen, what we've got, we keep. But we're going to press the ball when we don't need to. We're winning the game. So
that's how they're trained, Matt.
I think
that's
we
the
are.
coaching. That's the coaching.
Yeah, but I think it's about. I think game management, Ian. There, you know, just look at the kind of the moment in the game. They're chasing the game. We've got the ascendancy. What we've got, we'll keep. But we always seem to keep that back door open. So,
sure.
You know, I don't think Angie's going to change anytime soon.
That's who we are.
But to play his system, yeah, absolutely. To play his system, you need the best players. We need the best players, and the noticeable difference when Van der Ven is on the pitch to when he's not is night and day. But hey, I'll take the win. On to the next one.
You know, there was a tackle that Romero put in first half. They broke, and Romero slid in and intercepted.
Yeah. In the right back position, wasn't it?
That's right. Just superb. Got the ball, laid it off. That's prime Romero.
Did any of you notice Romero had a 50-50 with Troy Parrott, and then Romero leaned into Parrott's face and screamed at him? Just absolutely leathered the boy. And I thought, what is that about? Like, Romero lost it on him, man.
Parrott, I think, got involved in a tackle with Spence, I think, and Parrott went down and was acting. And Van der Ven gave him verbal, and then Romero came up and gave him verbal.
Yeah, but I saw the Romero bit. He just freaking gave him some absolute shit.
Absolutely pathetic. He went down and stayed down for a tackle like that. I mean, come on. Nonsense. Just nonsense.
A user says, lol, that's our issue. The back door is always open, LOL. We are wide open. But, you know, that's the risk we play. We play this football where we are going to be... Do you know what? All he's got to do is play with a proper number 6, and it solves so many issues. But he's reluctant to do it. He just doesn't want to play with a 6, does he? And I don't know why. I don't know why he doesn't want to do it. I don't know why he just feels it's not needed.
If the rest of the world can see it, why can't he? This is what must be questioned, in my opinion. You know.
I think I understand what he's trying to do. You know, he's trying to get this like front foot. We compress the game, we dominate. I understand the ethos, but you've also got to respect the competition, and you've got to respect your opponent, and you cannot dominate the game for 90 minutes of any football match. You also have to have a defense, you know. That's why there's called a gearbox and brakes on a car. Otherwise, everyone would be driving at 110 miles per hour. There's brakes and gears for a reason. If Andrew was a car driver, he would just be smashing into cars because he'd just be driving at 100 miles an hour and not concerned about, you know, defense. It's a crazy philosophy. We are absolutely in a demolition derby. I just don't understand why sometimes. I was thankful tonight a couple of times. Vicario caught the ball and held on to it. And that's something he never used to do before the injury. He actually caught the ball and actually signalled, calm down. Calm down. Before his operation...
Yeah, sorry, Matt. Sorry, I shouldn't have cut you off. Go.
Okay.
So what I wanted to say is that he also ordered players to go further up the pitch when he was taking the goal kicks. I think it happened at least
goal
2 times, right?
Yeah.
Which is two more than for the entire season, right? So I was really surprised to see him just waving the players up the pitch, right? In the direct
absolutely. I think.
And did you hear the crowd cheer? Did you hear the crowd cheer when he done that?
I thought that was something he hadn't done before. Yeah.
Did anyone see?
That's something that is maybe while he's been on the treatment table. Sorry, it's gone still. No, go on.
No. Sorry, Matt. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say it was a refreshing change. How he, a couple of times in that second half, he slowed the game down, and I thought, thank the Lord, he's actually told the players, get up the pitch, let's just kill the momentum for 10 seconds. Granted, we didn't do anything when we kicked the ball. They came through unchallenged and won the ball back, but at least it just slowed the tempo of the game. So the plus points are Van der Ven, fingers crossed, came through unscathed. That's the first 90 minutes this year for Romero. I thought Bergvall looked very classy at times on the ball. He still wants to play even in his own box. So I'm hopeful the coaches will be playing the video to say sometimes there's nothing wrong with just putting the ball 30, 40 yards down the channel. It's not a bad ball. So there's a few things that we need to work on in and out of possession. And as Ian said earlier, April the 10th is a long time away. A lot of things can happen to us and Frankfurt. So let's have this conversation the week of the quarterfinal.
Yeah, a lot can happen. Let's see where we're at. Got another super chat here from a user who says, Ange has the Flintstones car, LOL, hamstrings. Mate, yeah. You know, Danzo has had 2 games off all of last season. He's come to Spurs 6 weeks in, his hamstring's gone. You literally can't write it. By the way, do you know what? I just remembered something, and I forgot to say it earlier. Did anyone see Bergvall facing his own goal on the touchline, do an L-shaped drag back and back heel it down the line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mate, that was some serious showboating. Do you know that? That was some. I'm not getting carried away before people jump on me, but mate, to have the confidence to do that, you know, you got a little something about you, right? There's a little something about you, Mr. Box Office. Welcome to the show, Professor of Truth and Entertainment, etc., etc. How you doing, bro? You all right? Good win for Spurs tonight.
Listen, I'm not really bothered about the win because we should have won this game a long time ago. You know what I mean? I've just had an argument on We Are Tottenham TV with Danny and Ben. Big up to them. You know what I mean? It's good to see Danny every single time. But when they're overhyping Bergvall, I just don't get it. I don't get it. We're just getting sad now, to be honest with you. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I mean, I thought Mr. Box Office is speaking right now. Let him finish. The point is, though, yeah, right. Big up, every single time. You know what I mean? You're still my good friend, regardless. Anyway, but the point is, yeah, Matt said a really funny thing, by the way. It's good to see you, Matt. By the way, and actually being more ruthless and been nice. That's actually a good side to see of you. You know what I mean? But the point is, saying that Bergvall needs to be coached, I still don't see us coaching him as far as I'm concerned. I think he's still rash. Yeah, he makes some good moments, but other than that, I just don't know what everyone's going overhyping this guy. And for me, on this performance, it doesn't give me any confidence we're going to get through Frankfurt, any confidence we're going to get through Lazio, and any confidence we're going to even get a touch of this competition as far as I'm concerned. I think we're lucky. Very lucky. The only person at the moment that had a good game for me that really, really turned this game around was Maddison. And if you really want to deep it even further, Vicario. Vicario has actually been our best player the last couple of games because he saved us. He has saved us. Let's be honest here. I think he's more of a captain. And I think I said it before, didn't I? With Dan, the Hotspur Hood. Like we said, this guy's got more captain side of him than Song all day long. I have to be honest. But other than that, I've got no confidence in this guy. I've got no confidence we're going to do anything in this competition by watching yesterday. It's the same old thing. I just think Alkmaar. I mean, the fact that Song had a good game just summed it all up for me, didn't it? So below average they are.
Alex, do you think Son had a good game today? Because I asked this question earlier, because in the comments when I was doing the watch along, Son was getting absolutely torn to pieces. People saying he's washed, he's not all that. I know he was involved in 2 goals, but his general play, people were saying, what's he doing? He's misplacing passes, he's shooting straight at defenders. He's not putting in good crosses. Some of his crosses tonight were shocking, by the way. But why do you say he had a good game? I'm interested to hear this because I was listening to different things from fans tonight.
He's all right. He's all right, but I think because I think the left back couldn't, the right back couldn't cope with him, maybe because maybe because of the quality that he is at the end of the day. But he was getting a little bit of joy down that left hand side. He was getting some joy, and he was influencing the 2 goals. He was an influence there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. He influenced 2 goals. He got 2 assists, I think.
You know, because he did get the ball back for the goal for put it into Solanke, and then Alderberg scored. But I think later in the second half he died down because I think he's using up a lot of energy, wasn't he? And that's where I have an issue. Yeah, the third goal was a good goal, but that was kind of standard sort of Ange goal, wasn't it? Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? When it actually works, that's a standard sort of Ange goal, isn't it? Because when Alkmaar went forward, there was more spaces for them to capitalize on, wasn't it? You know what I mean? So I think you've got to put this game into context. That's what I'm trying to say at the moment. For me, I don't see what we have learned from the bad form we had back. It's still the same thing I've seen before. And I just think that teams are going to still think we know how to stop Tottenham. You know what I mean? If Alkmaar were more potent in front of goal, it could have been a different game for me. And really, that first goal was a bad mistake from the defender. You got to be honest. You know what I mean? I think they got a bit lazy.
Yeah, it was a bad mistake by us as well that gave them their goal as well, though.
Yeah, I agree. This is why I can't really go. I can't get excited about Bergvall or Archie Gray because, you know, one person that did have a good game, even though I still worry about his hamstring sticking again because you can see that he's running back again. Is Van der Ven. You know what I mean? I do worry about his hamstring ticking again because you can see it. He's rushing back again, trying to get the ball back with his pace, and he's not managing his pace. You know what I mean? Because he's got that high line again.
Do you know? You talk about pace. Do you know one player who's much quicker than what I thought, and he really surprised me tonight. And no one's mentioned him, and I thought he had a fantastic game. By the way, I thought he was really, really good. Was Jed Spence? I thought Spence tonight. Some of his tracking back, one-on-one sprints, the amount of time he caught up with his man and got the ball, not just cleared it and then turned. He was part of that brilliant third goal we scored. I thought going forward on the overlap, he was the only player that was overlapping and actually causing problems. I don't like it when he inverts. I think when he inverts into the 10, he looks lost. And I don't know why we do that to him. I think Ange needs to fucking sort that out because he's not getting the best out of him.
You are doing something with your pen. And
sorry. Yeah. I just feel that when Spence just sticks wide, whether it's defensively, up the wing or overlapping, I think he's a player. I think there's a real player there. His pace is deceptive, man. He's fucking quick. I don't like him. I don't like him when he comes into midfield. I don't want to see Spence in midfield. I hate it when he inverts. It doesn't suit him.
Stelios, can I be honest with you? I want to see him with another manager as far as I'm concerned. I just think he's going to ruin him. I think he's just going to absolutely ruin it.
Box office, I completely agree with you. And by the way, how is it that 95% of teams worldwide overlap their wing backs, right? Or if they play them inverted, they play them in the midfield, not up the pitch near the penalty box, right? And suddenly when our wing back plays overlapping, we see good performances from him, right? It's almost as if something that works for everyone else. Like
Michael, how good is Spence though when he overlaps, when he gets the ball? How good is he at driving to the byline or coming into the box? He causes problems.
Yeah, still, but you know the thing is, right? Udogi did the same at Udinese, and he came here, plays under Ange.
I know he's gone to shit here. He's gone to shit here.
It's so mad, right? Don't even talk to me about Porro, right? Because Porro was practically a winger for Sporting, right? Because Sporting played the 3-5-2 system that not 3-5-2, 3-4-3 system. that Amorim tries to do at United right now. And if you see, like, he pretty much plays wingers, or he wants to play wingers at those like wing back positions, right? He plays with a three at the back without the like purely defensive wing backs, right? So Porro was doing the same, like overlapping attacking role, right? And we have those two guys, and we try to put them inside the penalty box, right? It's just mind-boggling to me, right? And yes, I completely agree with you. Like Spence, like his last two performances weren't as great as the ones we saw when he broke into the team, but those performances were sublime, and he was also like a pearl among the pigs, right? So like he was the only like shiny toy, right? And the rest of the team was completely garbage, right? So it also kind of elevated his performance. But today, today the overlapping runs he did, I want to see that more from all wingbacks, right? Not only from him, but also from Porro and from Udogie, right? If they play.
Go on, Alex, go on.
I want him to see him with another manager, as far as I'm concerned. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to see him with another manager because I just don't think he's got a clue, as far as I'm concerned.
Alex, we all want to see this squad with another manager.
That's just my answer at the moment, because at the moment
let's enjoy it. Listen,
Alex, he's agreeing with you. Ian's agreeing with you.
No. Listen. Ian, I know what you're going to say. Enjoy yourself, but bro, I enjoy life. Don't worry about it.
We won a game tonight, Alex. Let's enjoy the win.
Ian, I enjoy life. It doesn't matter about whether Tottenham wins.
Sure.
Until I see something different, I'll jump it, and you'll see me happy. But anyway, moving on from that, because I'm sorry, this season's been too terrible for me to start going on about it. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen too much of this before. But anyway, moving on, because I don't want to repeat myself. I'm sorry to the chat if I'm going to, or the panel. I don't want to repeat myself tonight.
Alex, I'm with you. I refuse to be happy because I know what's coming next, and then in 6 weeks' time, I'm going to be sitting here saying, Lubo, I tried to tell you again, Lubo. And Lubo's going to be sitting and telling me this manager's terrible. He's got to go.
And you know what the funniest part will be, right? That Lubo will be saying this from a hotel in Rome.
In Germany. In the Marriott Plaza, Frankfurt.
No, listen. I'm so cheesed off when we lose. You know, my wife looks at she checks TottenhamHotspur.com at the end of every game to see whether I'm going to be in a foul mood when I get home or not these days. So that's why I come home and I'm so pissed off when we lose, and it pisses me off the whole weekend. So that when we do win, what am I doing if I'm not going to enjoy it? What am I going to do? Be pissed off when we win and pissed off when we lose? What's the point of actually following a team if all you're going to do is knock them when we win and knock them when we lose? I mean, I'm seeing comments up here. This one's that. I mean, just what for? Just enjoy it. The next round will come round, and if we get through, we get through. Fantastic. And if we don't, we don't. But just enjoy the wins. Otherwise, what's it all about?
Ian, if you're happy to do that, that's fine. At the moment, I'm happy the way I am at the moment because I don't need Tottenham to make me happy anymore.
That's true.
I'm happy to say that because at the end of the day, right?
Alex sounds like he's got a lady. Alex sounds like he's got a lady.
I've seen this before, right? Right, and still, so that's for me to know and you to find out, bro. Anyway, moving on, right? But to move it on to segue to football because we're here to football. Not Love Island. I don't watch Love Island, by the way. But anyway, moving on. Other shows available. But the point is, right, is that like I said, right, on today's performance and last how many games, it's proved to me because we had how many days to prepare for it. Nothing will change with this manager, right? He's still sticking to his tactics, and for me, we're going to see more injuries again, right? And then we're going to be complaining about how many games we've got because we're still going to play 2 games a week, right? Again, right? And we're getting our full squad back now, right? So for me, like, we're going to see the same complaints, I think we're just denying the inevitable as far as I'm
Do you know?
concerned.
Do you guys not think that it looked better at the back with Romero and Van der Ven there?
No. I think Van der Ven was good, cool, but I think Romero's suspect.
I don't. Listen, the system leaves the two of them vulnerable and open, but I feel far happier if there's going to be two defenders, at the back, making last-ditch tackles, whatever. I'm happy if it's those two rather than any other defender at the club. To be honest,
I didn't have a problem with Danzo. I thought Danzo was doing all right for Spurs. If I'm honest with you, I thought Danzo was doing all right. Danzo's okay,
it's not Romero.
But Romero does some crazy things, Do you know what it is, Ian? I think it doesn't matter who plays at the back for me anymore. I just feel that the way we're set up without a 6 and being a little bit always just 2 left on their own, I just think it makes even good defenders look poor. I don't think it matters to me. The only good thing is when Van der Ven's there, I feel a bit more comfortable that someone with pace can track back. I just feel someone with pace can, or at least get across the pitch and put an attack on that. But I want to come back to Spence because you know what? I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried because I think Spence is really good, as in really, really good, and we're not seeing the full potential of this boy. And I think Pep's seen it. And after the game when we lost 1-0 to them, he went over to Spence and had a bit of a laugh. And I think Pep planted a seed. And then Spence, in the interview after the game, he said, yeah, Pep said to me, why do you run so much? As if this system doesn't suit you, does it? That's what I think Pep's planted in his head. And I think what's going on here is if we don't win the Europa, there's no Champions League next season. There's no Europe next season. We're a mid-table team. I think Pep's going to have a big rebuild this summer. And I think they're going to come in for Spence. I think he's going to target him. And I think he's turned Spence's head. If we win the Europa and we're in the Champions League and we've just won a trophy, I think Spence will stay with us. Guys, I could be wrong with this. I've just got this feeling because Pep needs to sort out his wing backs. And do you know what? Spence suits Pep on the money. He suits the way they play. And I just feel that I'm worried, man. I'm worried he might go to City. I'm not lying to you. I think he's that good.
I'm not worried at all. I think we've put on ourselves. I've got to be honest. I think we put on ourselves. I think good on Spence. Good on Spence to just think for to play for himself. As far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean. Good on him.
Do you think City? Do you think if Spurs end up mid-table and trophyless, do you think City might give it a go?
I think the issue might be Levy.
Let me check his contract.
Well, they signed a new. He signed a new contract, didn't he?
Yeah, he signed a new contract, by the way. But I just feel like City.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
City have PTSD after dealing with Levy for Kane, right? So I get your point, Stel, right? But Stel does Stel. Sorry, fucking hell.
Yeah, but Spence. Go on, Michael.
Yeah, but Pep does it a lot, man. Like Pep talks to plenty of players. You can see him chatting up plenty of players after matches, right? So
you always used to.
I'm not sure, man. And also,
Spence has no loyalty to Spurs. He's not one of our own. He's not academy player. He's not a superstar the way Kane was, and he had this affiliation with the fans. Spence is the kind of player I think he's got enough swag and attitude about him to say transfer request. There you go. I think he's got it in him, Spence. Maybe. I think he's got that. I think Spence has got that ruthless, streetwise about him.
I
could be wrong.
There we go.
Yeah. I wanted to say the same thing. Look at Scott's comment, right? This is what we have to acknowledge, right?
Spence level is Bristol City, not Matt. I don't know, Scott. I think he's good.
Scott, you need to sit down with Scott for half an hour, mate. Have a chat with him.
Ian, you know what? Ian, I'm gonna back Scott because he backs me. But you know what Scott's gonna be like. Scotland's gonna, you know what I mean? Just take it for what he is. You know what I mean? You know
how highly do you lot rate Spence? Honestly,
He's,
how high did you
he's
not rate
good.
him?
He's been good this season.
He's very. It's been very good this season. For me,
But we have to see what he does next season. We have to see what he does next season.
What right fullbacks have been better than Spence this season? I'm just asking. In the Premier League, who's been better than Spence?
Trent hasn't had a bad season still.
Who?
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Okay, Trent, who's experienced, won it all. Trent's had a good season. Who else? Any of the Arsenal fullbacks? Man City fullbacks?
No.
Spencer's up there, isn't he?
Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton. I mean, listen, I think Bournemouth's fullbacks have been pretty tasty this season. I think they've been good. Tavernier and Kirkes, I think they've been pretty decent.
I think he plays right. I think, is it Livramento or plays right?
Livramento for Newcastle, yeah.
He's had a good season up to injury.
Has been really good.
Yeah.
Who Michael?
Hall, the left back for
the left back.
Yeah, Hall's been very good. Yeah.
I think he has like 9 assists or something like that. Same thing with Kirkes, by the way. Kirkes and Robinson. Robinson from Fulham.
Hold on. Scott now thinks Spence's dog shit. It's getting worse.
So people are saying Lewis Skelly. I think has been better than Lewis Skelly this season.
Lewis Skelly's played 8 games and been sent off twice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Lewis Skelly.
Guardival's been pretty solid.
Lewis Skelly is the most overrated piece of shit I have ever seen, right? I don't know why people rate him. He's a fucking scumbag. He's a dickhead on the pitch.
Easy, Michael.
Fuck him. I hope someone punches him. I hope someone punches him next time he plays.
Haaland will. Don't worry.
Look, can we acknowledge as well that Spence this season, he's a right back who's been asked to play left back at times and done the job just as well as a right back. Which wing backs can play left and right back the way Spence has shown? And when Spence had to step into centre back in one game, he did pretty good. There was one game he had to go centre back, wasn't it, for half a game or 30 minutes or so?
He did well, but I do think that Spence has played better on the left than the right this season, funny enough.
Matt, what do you think of Spence? Where do you rate him in the league compared to other fullbacks? Is he in the top 5, top 10? Is he number 1? Where do you put him?
I think it's still a little bit early, considering he kind of didn't really get his breakthrough till I think December. On current form, I think he's as good as anything in the Premier League. But I'd like to see the kind of rest of the season finish, and then I'll probably give you a better answer. But on current form, he's as good as anything. He's 24 years of age. He's athletic. He's good in the tackle. He's good in tight spaces. He can go either side. He is. I think you mentioned the other week still about no player can play Angie's system, but he's the closest player that can play that system because he can consistently make those 30, 40, 50 yard sprints up, and he's as quick as anything. By the way, I think people slightly underestimate how quick that Poku. I just read up on him tonight, and he's been clocked as the 3rd fastest player in the Dutch league this season. That Poku is lightning quick.
Matt, this is what I mean. Tonight,
Spence in the second half on one run, and I think Van der Ven had to come and help.
I think there's a delay. Or is he frozen?
Yeah, I don't know if that's my internet or yours still. I missed that. Say that again, sorry.
No,
I'm saying I was agreeing with you. Spence sprinted tonight.
Have I froze or you froze?
Oh, there's a delay. Matt, you just speak. I'll go quiet because there's a delay. Just say your bit.
He's gone. No, he's lost his internet connection.
Still,
he'll come back.
Still,
he'll come back.
Still,
he'll come back.
Just to say, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what happens with one win with Tottenham fans. It's amazing.
I've been saying this about Spence for the last few weeks, man. This is one game.
I've seen videos now after one game. Against, no, Ian, because I know what you're going to say. I don't care. The point is, love you, Ian, as a person, but I know what you're going to say to me. I don't care. The point is there, right? One game, and now I'm seeing Spurs fans saying, we can win the Europa League.
I've not said that. I've said we're not winning it. I've said we're not winning it.
No. I'm seeing videos. I'm seeing videos now. You're gonna see. They're gonna be popping up tomorrow. Now, even though we beat Alkmaar and Man United winning against Real Sociedad is more impressive right now for me than what we've done against Alkmaar. And Man United, who I'm told are washed, right? Go and beat Real Sociedad. Yeah, right. So
but you need to go and speak to the people that make those videos. Right, I don't know who these people are. I never make videos. I refuse
because I've got to keep my liberty. Am I allowed to
don't name names, but go on their channels and go on their comments and say, I can't say. Listen. There was people making videos saying that Matthias Tell is the perfect fit for Spurs. He completes us and all this bollocks. And Matthias Tell's been dropped for the last 2 games. I mean, what were we thinking with him? Who was behind that Matthias Tell transfer? It just made no sense.
Alex, the chances of Spurs winning the Europa is unlikely, but while we're in it, we've still got a chance.
I'm gonna meet Marbo Robbie. Yeah, really. Okay, really. You
Alex,
know what I mean? Honestly,
Alex. I've said all along, this is a 2nd-tier competition for 2nd-tier clubs. Now, the only team that is playing like a Champions League team are Bilbao, they are 8 points off the top in 4th. Lazio are 10, Rangers are 16. Who else have we got here? Frankfurt are 19 points off the top. Lyon are 23 points off the top. And Spurs and Man United are 36 points off the top. And Bodø Glimt are 3 points clear in Norway. And they've got Lazio.
But they always had 3 points clear in Norway because
you know what? I've got to say that Bodø Glimt isn't too bad. They're not bad. They're not. I don't know about these teams. I don't follow these teams, but I watched them in the last round and I thought, hold on a minute, they're not a bad team. They're actually all right. They're pretty good. Scandinavia's always got that one surprise team, haven't they? Every year, there's one surprise Scandinavian team that does quite well.
And people saying in the chat, saying, "Oh, yeah, no one said it. I'm talking rubbish." Yeah, yes, people said we can win it, and I'm sitting there saying, based on what?
Based on being
on tonight. Yeah, okay, I understand that, bro, but I can win the lottery. That's like me trying to win the lottery.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We've got a 1 in 8 chance. The lottery is a 1 in 14 million.
Okay, cool.
We have a 1 in 8. Come on.
Yeah, but Ian, don't do this. Don't do this to me, Ian. No, Ian. No, Ian.
Don't do this.
Talk about facts. If we want to talk about facts, let's talk about facts then on the table. Yeah, we're not winning 10 home games. That we haven't done that in the last 15 years. Right, let's talk about facts. Yeah, we've lost 18 games in the whole season. Yeah, let's talk about facts. Yeah, right, 14 games, lost 14 games. Yeah, this season. Yeah, if we want to talk about facts, then where would we be after we lost against Liverpool 6-3 in the form table? Where would we be, Ian?
Alex, that's
17th. 17th. That's it. So I'm sorry, I'm not hearing this. No, I'm not doing. No, because I don't do feelings anymore. I don't do feelings anymore.
Sorry,
I do
mate.
facts.
Well, the fact is, Alex, the fact is that Spurs are in the last 8. That is a fact, which means that they are one of 8 teams that have a chance of winning it. Fact. Sound like Benitez now. Fact.
Okay, cool. But then when we go to win it, then come back to me, bro. But at the moment, we've dumped out of the Carabao Cup. We've dumped out the FA Cup. We're in the 13th in the league. We're the 13th in the league, right? And so I can't sit there, right? go over the top of Bergvall, go over the top of Archie Gray when we're 13th. That sums up the quality of our squad.
No, it doesn't. You can't.
It does.
It does. Sorry, like that. It's not. Life is not black and white.
It is black and white
No,
because
it's
facts
not.
don't do feelings. I'm
It's
sorry.
not. I'm sorry, Alex. Life. There are shades of grey in there. I'm sorry, mate.
Shades of grey. What are you talking about, Ian?
There are shades of
Ian,
grey.
what are we doing here?
Shades of Archie Gray. Shades of Archie Gray.
This is what we do.
Alex, no,
This is what we do.
I tell you what it is. I tell you what you're doing. You're just saying we're 13th. So everything that's happened this season, everything, 100% of every match, every player, everything negative. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not. Bro, I'm talking facts. Unfortunately, like Liverpool fans with Salah, right? If you say something bad about Salah, they get rattled. Yeah, it's like with Tottenham fans. You can't say anything bad because they get rattled because they can't deal with the truth, and that's the problem. That is the problem, Ian. You have just shown an example right now. You can't say anything bad. You can't tell it how it is. I'm so done with this.
You know I tell it as it is. You know I tell it as it is.
Yeah. But this is the thing. It's got to be negative and positive.
No.
Based on what? Based on today.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. No, let me ask you a question. You're scouting for a club, okay? You've got 1,000-word report to write for your club, okay? Now you're going to sit and write about Spurs for this season. You're going to do an analysis of our season. Are you going to write down point 1, shit, point 2, shit, point 100, shit, point 200, shit? Are you, or are there going to be some bright spots within your reports? Which I know this season is not going to be very good, but it can't be complete shit. Every single point can't be complete shit. Okay. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, fair enough. Then, if you want to clutch at straws with this season, bro, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. This is what Spurs fans do. This is exactly what Spurs fans do because we are so starved for success. We have to clutch at straws like we always do with our players and always do with this club. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. Be consistent. I'm consistent until I see something special. Right, and even if we win Europa League, I still want him out because the same scenario is going to be in the Champions League. Do you think we're going to handle the Champions League with this manager? No, we can't.
Alex, you've moved the goalpost. You've changed the conversation.
No. I haven't moved the goalpost. No, the truth again. No, again, you're not listening to context. Can we handle Champions League when we couldn't even handle Alkmaar?
Could we handle Champions League next year if we've got maybe the Bournemouth manager in charge, and if we go and buy 3 or 4 quality players, the whole dynamic changes completely.
Based on what? Because it's
hold on. But that's what Alex just said. He wants the manager gone. That's what he's kind of saying.
I want the manager gone. You know that.
Do you know what I think's going on here? Right? Do you know what I think's going on here? I think Alex refuses to acknowledge anything that's good or half good on the basis of what's the point? Because come end of season, we're going to end up with nothing. So why am I going to praise A, B, and C when we end up with 0, 0, 0? Whereas Graham, what Ian's doing is, I don't think we're going to win the Europa, and I don't want this manager here, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say Bergvall's no good, Spence is no good, and he's no good, because I still see some positives, even though the outcome is going to be 0. That's the difference. Whereas, so to summarize, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, you're trying to find some positives in a shit season, which you think will end up shit anyway. But Alex, you don't want to look at the positives because it's so shit for you, you just don't care anymore. I think that's where this is going.
I think you are approaching, the same destination just from 2 different sides. That's how I look at it. Right?
I think you summed it up perfectly. To be honest with you,
that's what I see going on. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I must tell you something. If I felt there was no hope, just no hope at all, believe me, I won't be booking my flights to Frankfurt tomorrow morning.
But that's deluded. I've warned you about this. I've warned you about that. Do you know what? Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I agree. Alex, I lean more with you. I'm more in your camp. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually lean more with you, and I agree with you. But what I can't do, is be dishonest to myself. When I see people slamming Bergvall and slamming in and saying Spence, he's overhyped, and I feel differently, I have to stand up and say, hold on, we're being harsh on Bergvall, and actually I think Spence is really good. I can't go as far as where you're going, but I'm closer to you than I am with Ian. But I can't just sit here and say Bergvall's shit, Spence ain't good. I'm not
saying he's shit. I'm not saying he's shit. I just think everyone overhypes him.
No, Alex, he had a bloody good game tonight. He bossed that midfield for most of that match.
I don't agree with that.
He was everywhere. He was absolutely everywhere. He was winning tackles. He was making himself available. I mean, there was one lovely run where he flicked the ball around 3 players on a 50-yard run.
I don't agree. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this whole thing about. I don't see what everyone's overhyped. He has some moments.
We're talking about tonight, Alex.
Alex, he has moments.
We're just talking about 90 minutes. We're not
Bergvall's good tonight, bro. You don't think Bergvall's good tonight?
I think he's had moments. I think he's moments player.
I thought Bergvall was our best midfielder.
It was excellent tonight.
Listen. I think he's had moments this season. I've got to be honest. I think he has moments that look good, but I just don't. No, I've got to take a lot more to be convinced with him at the moment. I still think he's got a lot to learn. I think he's got. I think he needs a proper. I think he needs to shut up as well in front of the referee as well sometimes, because he's going to get himself in big trouble sometimes. But I will say this as well. I think he needs experience next to him, someone to just calm him down. I think people saying that he's getting mature. I think they're getting way ahead of themselves. I've got to be honest. You know what I mean? And then Swans, I actually like you, mate. You know what I mean? But send him a link. Please send him a link, this guy. Because I know he's better on the show. I'm going
to end the show in 10 minutes. I'll bring on Swonks next week. You two can, because if I bring him on, it's going to be you and him for 45 minutes just going at it.
I don't mind. No, I like Swonks. I actually like Swonks.
I also want my sleep.
I don't agree, but I like Swonks. I like to see him more on the show, to be honest with you.
Listen, Swonks says it as it is. He doesn't mince his words.
I like Swonks. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to come in on. You know what I mean?
Let me bring back Matt. Matt, you got cut off. Hopefully your internet doesn't cut off this time. Yeah, look, Bergvall. It's not Bergvall. Spence. What's your thinking on Spence?
I think he's been one of the only plus points for this season. I think he's got so much upside. He's athletic. He absolutely looks. He's probably the calmest defender we've got at the club, which is not a bad thing, because we've got 3 or 4 defenders that are rabbit in the headlights. They see the ball, they see the man, and they go chasing. Spence just looks assured. He looks like he's been playing in this Spurs team for 3 or 4 seasons. And I think he's one of the first names on the team sheet, whether that's on the left or on the right. I think Bergvall has had glimpses of some real good types of football. I think he needs a little bit more experience around him. So I think it's just a sad indictment of Spurs coming into the midfield and looks like at times our best midfield player. And I go back to Declan Rice at a similar age at West Ham, and he had Mark Noble around him, who just mentored him. And you kind of almost didn't notice Declan Rice because he was learning off Mark Noble, just telling him where to go, when to press, when to sit, when to play it first touch, when to. We don't have that midfielder alongside him, and whether that's Basuma, whether that's Bentancur, whether that's Papa Sarr, they're struggling in their own game, so they can't mentor Bergvall. So he's having to figure it out while he's playing, and I think that's added to some of the mistakes that he's making. if he had a Dumbele or Wanyama alongside him, he wouldn't have to worry so much about things going around him. He could just go and play because he knows the back door's closed behind him. At the moment, the midfielders alongside him are still struggling in their own game, that the spotlight's on him, and he's getting better. He's still got a few creases in his game that he needs to iron out, but I can only see an upside for Bergvall. I can only see him getting better. I'm not labelling him as the next this or the next that, but I think, barring injuries and barring something catastrophic, I think at some stage we'll be able to say, remember when we had Bergvall? I think he could be that good eventually. I don't know what age, but I think whatever time in advance, someone will say, do you remember we had Bergvall? I think he could be something very, very good. So
and you know what, Matt? You look at the top midfield players and what age they started really coming through as top midfield players. Modric, mid-20s. Rodri was 26, 27. I'm not saying Bergvall's going to be as good as those boys, but I'm just saying that this is the age that these central midfielders come through and really establish themselves as top players. Bergvall's 19, for Christ's sake. Seriously.
I think you just missed exactly what Matt said at the beginning, right? Matt, you need to sort out your internet because you miss out on some very good things from you sometimes, and you need to sort that internet out of yours, mate. You know what I mean? Because you miss out some good points of yours. You know what I mean?
Stay up, Matt. Stay up.
Yeah, like the end of view that point, I didn't agree with it. But the way you talk about Rice is a very good example. He had Noble next to him, right? And now you see the guy that you see now, right? You didn't see a lot of Noble, but Noble guided him. He nurtured him, right?
Of course.
And that's exactly what Bergvall has not got at Tottenham, right? I think you need to click that because for me, that's the most sensible thing I've heard about Bergvall. That comparison to Declan Rice and what happened with Declan Rice and what's not happening at Tottenham at the moment.
I said the same thing at the beginning.
Oh, sorry, Mikel. Sorry.
No worries. I'm just taking Matt's spotlight.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? We all do it. You know what I mean? But it's just, that's the first thing I've actually heard sensibly about Bergvall because I hear about 19 years old. I've heard it in the chat just now, and I'm like, cool. I know he's 19 years old. You don't need to tell me how many times. But the way that we are making this guy out to be like the next like. It's like we're talking about Yamal, and I'm not saying he's Yamal.
We're not, Alex.
But the way we talk about we talk about it is like we're talking about Messi or Yamal.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, we don't.
We're not doing that.
We're not talking about him in those terms. He's a young kid in his first season, and considering also he hasn't got a leader, he hasn't got a mentor next to him. Look at the crap he's had to play with in midfield. I think he's doing bloody well for a first season for a 19-year-old kid. I think he's doing very well considering. He's got a lot to learn, an awful lot to learn. But I've got to tell you something, he's got a very high ceiling in my opinion. And I think he will go on. My personal opinion is he'll go on to be a real star.
I love the fact that
for sure.
As soon as I say Archie Gray, go on, Matt. Sorry, mate.
No, Bergvall's got a higher ceiling than Gray in my opinion.
This is what we got to deal with. I'm sorry. As soon as you say something bad about Bergvall, it just rattles people. Honestly, it's just Archie Gray.
Alex, can I ask you a question? Alex, let me ask you a question. Right? Let me ask you a question. When we re-signed Werner, I said when we first signed Werner, I flipped out. I completely flipped out, and I think. A year later now, I've been fully justified in why I flipped out. When we signed Brennan Johnson, I said, I don't get this. You know, this is ridiculous. And I think more and more fans as time have gone on have said, do you know what? Johnson, he gets in the right place once in a while, scores goals, but as a football player, like he came on tonight, he was absolute shite. As a football player, he's just not good enough. when we do the opposite and we say, do you know what? There's a player in Bergvall. We can see a player. Why can it not be possible that just maybe Bergvall could become a really good player and some of us can see it early doors? Like Spence. I said all along, I don't know about Spence. I can't comment on him. I'm not going to say shit because he doesn't play for Spurs, but Conte didn't want him. Ange isn't playing him. How good can he be? They don't play him. He ended up playing for Spurs out of default because of injuries. And I've been praising him a lot. And tonight I've said I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Is it only a case that it's all right when we call out the crap players who end up proving us that they're crap? But when we call out a player who we think actually this one might be good, that for some reason it becomes a problem when we do that. Because I think I've criticised more Spurs players than any other YouTuber other than Sava, and maybe yourself. But I do think with Bergvall and Spence, those two players, I can see talent. I can see it. Whether it's not like Mikey Moore, I think we've got a very good talent there. Whether it flourishes into Harry Kane, Ledley King levels is a different story. But do you not see that, Alex? Do you not see there's talent in some of these players that potentially, if we get it right as a club, which we probably won't, but if we got it right, we might have the next Modric. We might not maybe Modric, but we might have the next Eriksen. We might have the next Carl Walker. Do you not see that at all?
Listen, I think he's good. I just don't see this. He doesn't mesmerize me like other people are seeing at the moment.
Not yet. But do you not see the talent that could potentially grow?
He's got. Well, I can recognise that maybe he has talent, yeah. But whether he's, I see this guy in the future being this guy that everyone's posting that he's going to be. I don't know. I need to see it. I'm not. And again, I think it goes back to as well the coaching as well, because I don't see him developing on this manager as well, because I think there's so many flaws in his game in that sense where he's very rash, and I think he's got this ego, which is not a bad thing. But at the same time, I think it needs to be managed. And I think the person that spoke, I mean, Mikel, I didn't hear.
Ian agrees with you on that. Ian has said every week that they need proper coaching. Ian has said that a lot. He has said they need proper coaching. Yeah, I think to be fair, I think most fans are saying that now.
Yeah, I said the same thing at the beginning, right? I think that when I watch Bergvall, and especially after watching him live on the weekend, right? Like I can see the potential in him, right? Like I think he carries the ball better than any of our midfielders, right? Maybe bar Madison, Madison is an experienced player.
When he does it. When he does it, yeah.
Yeah, Bissouma, if he feels like so, right? But what I've seen from Bergvall for a 19-year-old is the fact that he's not scared to ask for the ball. Whether he does something with it is a different thing, right? Like as I said, like 70% of the time he does something with it, 30% of the time he loses it, right? They take percentages vaguely, right? But I think that the fun thing for me to look at is if we nurture this player and give him like enough minutes and like give him a good environment to grow, I see the potential to grow, right? But I agree with Alex, because there are plenty of people who will see performance like today, right? I'm not saying any of you boys here, right? I'm not saying even any of our other like guests on this show, right? But there are people online, Twitter, Reddit, wherever you want to go, right? That will see a performance like this and will say, yeah, we got our Pedri, right? He's better than Pedri and he's better than Gavi. And this is the side, like I always say it, right? I think plenty of people struggle with either going to 0 or 1 and they forget about everything that's between. Right? I think like people will either say he's completely garbage shit, like, get rid of him because he lost the ball twice, right? And there are people who will call him Pedri after this performance. I think there is a golden middle between those two where I think Bergvall is right now, and he can go to either side, in my opinion, depending on what we do with him, right? Depending on how we actually elevate him, right? The issue that I think all of us highlighted now is the fact that we don't believe Ange is the guy to do it, and all of his other coaching staff. And also, there isn't really like a role model for him in the team, right? Maybe Maddison, if you want to consider Bergvall a bit of a like an attacking player, purely from skill perspective, not mentality wise, right? Because I think with Maddison there are issues with his like approach to certain games, right? So that by the way, this is also like what Ian and you said, Alex, again, like from different points, right? Next season, if Ange is not there, then we can see those youngsters elevate, right? And I think we both agree. We want Ange, like all of us agree, we want Ange gone. We want a different guy, and we think that a different guy does way better with those players than Ange, right? But still, even with Ange, I think that there are things about Bergvall, Gray, Moore, and others that we can actually be a bit excited about, right?
Michael, you know what, guys? This is the problem, okay? So it's my face says he's chatting to Ellie in the chat, but people said that about Skip. Look at him now. But you see,
come on.
It's my face. This is the problem. Skip was a very good player in the academy. He did brilliantly when he went to Norwich, won multiple Player of the Month awards, got them promoted. Then he came to a shit show circus of Mourinho, Stellini, Mason. We were a shit show. The worst time to bring through a youngster was the last 4 or 5 years. It was a fucking shambles. We ruined it. We ruined whatever youngsters we had. We ruined them. This is the problem at Spurs. The senior players, the experienced players, couldn't score against Effersborg. They couldn't score against them.
Tamworth.
On Tamworth. They couldn't score against Tamworth. Right? On comes Dane Scarlett, scores. On comes Ajayi, goes on a run, 1-2, edge of the box, scores. Mikey Moore gets on the ball, beats 1, 2, 3 players, scores. The academy kids saved us when the experienced players couldn't. So you're thinking, do you know what? Their adrenaline is pumping, their confidence through the roof, 60,000 fans screaming their names. Do you know what? Let's start playing them. And what did we do? It's my face. What did we do? We signed Tell, we signed Kinski, we signed Danger. We literally said fuck you, fuck you. Mikey Moore hasn't played since. Adeji hasn't played since. Lancashire got sent on loan. Scarlett's sitting on the bench watching bang average Tell do nothing when he's on the pitch. I've been saying this a lot lately. The player pathway from academy to the first team is absolutely diabolical at this football club, and Ange hasn't changed that. He hasn't fixed it. And what's happening is, we as fans, we then turn on the youngsters. We have a go at him. Well, he can't be that good then. He's not good enough. Or
Do you know, we're the first team in European history to have 5 players under the age of 21 score in the same season.
Great.
Yeah, and yet we're getting bantered by Bournemouth. We're getting absolutely dicked on by Man City. We're struggling at AZ Alkmaar away, and we still don't give them a chance. And I just think, I believe either the club that isn't interested, they're just not interested in bringing through academy players, or we've got a coach that's just shit at it. He's absolutely crap at developing young players.
He is awful.
There's two scenarios here. There's 2 scenarios here for next season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, with Bergvall. You either have a coach to improve him, right? Or you have competition for him, right? That's how you improve a player. Because at the end of the day, he's got to be better than this season. Right? I always say this with every player that has a good season, you've got to be better than the following season.
Absolutely, fully agree, Alex.
And this is where we can't have this whole thing about they just an easy pathway to get into the first team. Right?
But
Because
Alex,
this is the problem we have now with Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr, and who else ever is in midfield, Maddison and Kulu, right? When you don't have competition for places, right, players get slack and think, oh well, I can just have a good game and that's it. And we don't need that with Bergvall. Sorry about that. That was just coming. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Bless you.
But yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's for me. Those are the two things. Because for me, right, you cannot have him just going keeping his place, Bergvall. Right, you're sitting there saying, okay, we're going to get somebody else in, right? Because we're not letting you off this season just because you're 19. We're going to
Would
teach
they?
you now.
Why would they?
We're
What
going to
do you mean,
teach. We're going to
Alex?
teach. We're going to teach you. We're going to teach you what is to be in a big club now, right? And you're going to get competition competition for your place now, bro. You know what I mean? So now you got somebody here making you think, right? If you're not playing well, like this is for everybody. This is for everybody, not just Bergvall. Like if you're not playing well, right, this guy's going to take your place. You know what I mean? You know
But we've never,
that's the way it
Alex.
should
We've
be.
never had that. We've never had that. That's the problem.
But this is what I'm talking about, Ian. Though, right? Because the thing is, though, right? Because everybody's going to start living off this season with him, right?
No,
When
he
he has been
won't.
good,
He won't.
he's been good.
I don't
No,
believe
no,
he
no,
will.
no, 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 no. Because I know you love Bergvall. I know you love your Archie Gray. I know you love your Archie Gray, and I know you do. I know you love him. I
I
know
must
you
tell
love
you
him. I
something,
know you love him.
Alex.
But
Alex,
I'm sorry. I'm going to be real. No, I'm being real. No, I'm
you're
being
going
real,
to be
Ian.
real. Let me tell you something. I sat down with Ozzy Ardiles on Monday at the end of a stadium tour, and I asked him which kid he thought would be the first of the kids in our club to come through and establish himself as a first team player. And Ozzy Ardiles, World Cup winner. Yes, would you respect his opinion, Alex?
Yeah, well, go
He
on.
turned around and said, because of his heart and his character and what I've seen, he said Archie Gray will be the first player to come through and be established. Now, if you think Ozzy Ardiles doesn't know what he's talking about, then fair enough. But, we have got to stop this whole thing where we see a kid that has potential, that is bright, that is coming through, that is good for his age, that is ahead of his time at his age, and then turn around and say, we're overhyping him. That's bullshit. And I'm fucking sick of all the fans who say, you're overhyping. All they want to do is he's shit and he's rubbish and he should go out on loan. That's all I hear. This fan base is the most depressing fan base I've ever known in my life. Seriously, it gets worse and worse. I'm not deluded. I'm not living on cloud nine. I'm very aware of where our club is. But all I hear is negativity and we're shit and we're this and we're that and everything this year is shit. No, not everything this year is shit. The first
Ian, you're doing it again. You're doing it again.
We have been poor, but there are some bright spots.
But Ian, I know you want to do that. That's fine. But Ian, I'm sorry. I need to see evidence. I'm just that guy. That is me.
What evidence do you want? You can't, Alex. You're not Doctor Who. You can't go forward 3 years in time and say, "I'm now in 2028. Now I can see that." You're in 2025. You've got to live the
2025. Yes, it's 2025, and I've seen nothing since, bro. You know what I mean?
Let's see if
So the argument, you're telling me to be positive.
If you
Why
can't...
do I hate to be positive? Okay, Ian. If we're gonna play this game, I love this energy from you, Ian. I love this energy from you, Ian. By the way, right? If you're gonna tell me about positives, yeah. Give me some positives. What I've got to look forward to in the future with this at the moment? Because at the moment I've got no future at the moment right now. Yes, Alderbert scored 2 goals. What did he do after that? Nothing. You know what I mean?
By the way, I have to go, boys. Sorry. Bye.
Michael, look after yourself. Big up to Michael from Odin.
He scored 2 goals tonight. The kid's 19.
So what?
He's come in after a bad injury. And he's got on the end. He's got on the end. He's at the end. The hardest thing in football is putting the ball in the back of the net. That's why these players, the goal scorers, go for the highest transfer fees. He's come in, fine. He's a young kid. He's roaring. He's inexperienced. But isn't it good to see a 19-year-old kid in a European match get on the end of 2 balls and put them in the back of the net? No one's saying he's going to be the next, I don't know, Lionel Messi, Jules Best, whatever. No one's saying that. But let's be encouraged. When we see something that encourages us, let's not think the whole season's been rubbish. We've been poor. We know why we've been poor. We know we've got probably, for me, the worst coach I've ever seen at Tottenham in our lives. He doesn't coach them. There is no system. There are no patterns of play. There's very little. The coaches don't want to play this way, from what I'm told. It is just shocking. Let me make that clear. I'm not deluded. I don't live with I don't walk around with rose-tinted glasses. I go to most of the matches. Believe me, I walk out of most of the games and I'm really pissed off. You try getting home from United at 4 in the morning after we've been whacked the other year, and getting back from Liverpool. What time are you going from Liverpool? Got home. I think I walked through my door at 4:10 after we got smacked 4-0 in the League Cup semi-final, and then I travel up to Villa and watch that pile of shit. I'm well aware of how bad we have been. That's right. It is my choice, Jordan. But I don't walk about with rose-tinted glasses. I love my club with a passion. But if there are some little things that give you hope, then hang on.
But that's clutching at straws. That is clutching at straws. You just see. You just clutching at straws.
Spence's performances this season.
Yeah,
that is not clutching at straws.
No. I didn't say that. That. But you say you want some little positives. That's cool.
That's right.
He was good.
I don't believe.
We what? No. We're not doing this, Ian. We're not doing this.
We're not doing this. Spence is a positive. Spence is a positive. Bergvall this year, he is better now. He is 19. And he, for me...
we know he's not...
No.
We know we've got loads of youngsters in our squad, though. You don't need to keep on repeating it.
Alex, I would put him in front of Basuma, Sarr and Bentancur every day of the week now.
Yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it? Because they're playing rubbish. That's easy. That's easy.
Do you know what bothers me, guys? Do you know what bothers me, guys? Do you know what bothers me? And I'm speaking to you from a youth football coaching perspective, right? I'm about 12 years of experience. Having been to pro academies in Europe, Deportivo La Coruña, Ajax, St George's Park in England, Tottenham, Arsenal, Championship. I mean what I'm saying here, right? I'm really, really frustrated with what's happening at Spurs, because do I think our youngsters are at the levels of Yamal or Nyamweri at Arsenal, who's tearing it up right now, or Foden when he burst on the scene? No, I don't. I don't think they're at that level. I don't. But do I think they are capable of getting to a level that will surprise us and really be something that we can look back on and say, do you know what? I'm so glad that they were given a chance. I do. I know they can be coached, guys, right? I know they can be coached. I look at Hussein at Bournemouth. I look at Christie and Cook at Bournemouth. And I say to myself, they've been coached, man. They've been coached. You're not going to tell me that Bergvall, Gray, Mikey Moore weren't as good as them at the relevant age. I'm not having it. I know how to develop a young player. I know they can be coached. And what frustrates me is, I think as fans, we expect any young player to be this elite level youngster, which is in like the top 10% of youngsters that ever make it. Our players are not in that top 10%. They're not world class, but they're good. You don't play for a Premier League club unless you're good, unless there's something about you. Otherwise, you'd been released and you end up in the Championship or Division 1 or in Serie B in Italy, or you've got to go and play in Portugal where it's not as difficult. These youngsters we've got are good, okay? They're good. Do not expect them to be elite. They're not. They're not at that level. They're not. But they can definitely become something very promising. And where I'm frustrated is we don't have the coach to do it. And it's just creating arguments amongst Spurs fans. Like the reason I've never really praised Bergvall as being amazing, or Gray is amazing, or whoever, Scarlett, or because they haven't shown me they're amazing. But I've seen enough to know that if they were coached the right way, and if they were developed in a system that worked for them, in 2-3 years' time, I think we might be having a very different conversation. My concern is they're going to fuck up at this club. We're going to ruin them. We're going to turn them into what we did with Winks. Listen, you know Harry Winks? He was a cracking player. Winks was a cracking player at youth level. I watched him play. I know Bob Harbour. Bob Harbour brought him in from Hemel Hempstead way when he was a very young boy. Winks was a player, man. He played as a 10 in the academy. He came into Spurs. We were all talking about, do you remember when Poch brought through Winks and we said, what a player, he's good, and he freaking hell. And he scored the winner away at Fulham. Do you remember
the game he played in the Bernabeu in the Champions League? He bossed that midfield, and that included Modric. That was the best game he ever played for Spurs. He was phenomenal that night. He got injury, and injury killed him still.
Well, injury, and then Ericsson being brilliant, and then we tried to shoehorn him as a 6, and we ruined him. We absolutely ruined him. And for me, I just feel we've got some really good youngsters at the club right now who fans are expecting too much from. Fans are being a bit too harsh from. Yes, they should be criticised. Yes, we should call them out when they fuck up. But the problem we've got now is a third of the fan base are calling them amazing, generational. They're going to be the next Messi, the next Ronaldo, which is bollocks. It's absolutely stupid, that conversation.
Of course it is.
And you've got the other side of the fan base, which is they're not good enough. They're not good as this player. There's better players at other clubs. We've overhyped them. Calm down. And I think the fans that talk like that are responding to the fans that are calling them superstars and generational. Then you've got the middle set of fans that are just, do you know what? They're good, but I need to see more. But here's the problem. You're not going to see more with Ange. You are not going to see more with Ange. I know when there's a good coach coaching the players. I know when someone can develop the individual. He's not going to develop these young players, man. He's not going to do it. I can tell he's not going to do it.
Wholeheartedly.
And we're fucked. And we're going to be having these youth arguments every single season. Whilst listen, if you're a good coach, you don't sign Matthias Tell. You fucking develop Lancashire and Scarlett.
Yeah, exactly.
You develop Lancashire. You don't need to bring in Matthias Tell. If you're a top coach, you don't need to sign Odeberts because you've got Mikey Moore. You don't need to do that. If you're a good coach, you don't need to sign Danzo. You fucking work with Ashley Phillips
and Dorrington. Yeah.
But he hasn't worked with any of them. He's mugged them all off. Instead,
this is why I'm saying
we're arguing over Greys and Bergvalls, and
this is why I'm
as
saying
a youth
at the moment,
coach, it really winds me up, this conversation, because in the end, if Ange stays, these kids will lose out. Mark my words.
Because they'll get injured. They will get injured. They
won't get developed, Alex. Alex, they won't get developed.
That's what I'm saythis is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying at the moment that I need to see it anyway. You know what I mean? Because this club needs to develop a lot over time for me. Because I think we're so backwards at the moment. It's unbelievable, especially with the manager. So, but it's just for me at the moment. I need to. I don't understand the overhype over the youngsters at the moment, because for me they've done nothing, in my opinion. Still, you know what I mean? Still, you know, and I still feel that question needs to be answered.
Sure.
Right. What happens next season when
Alex? You're not going to see that, Alex. You're not going to the answers you want. You're not going to get answers to those questions, because what's going to happen is Ange isn't going to develop them. What you're going to get, Alex, is this: you're going to have the same complaints next season, because they haven't developed. Look at Udogie. Fantastic at Udinese. Absolutely fantastic. He came to Spurs. The first 3 months, we were all praising him. Like, look at him. Solid. Do you remember when we went away to the Emirates? We said he owned Saka. He was on a yellow card and he owned Saka, we said. What's happened to him since? He's gone to absolute crap, because this manager, he doesn't know how to rotate players. He mismanages injuries. He runs them into the ground. He doesn't know how to develop them one-on-one, body shape, positional awareness. He doesn't develop them, guys. And I just feel it's going to happen with Bergvall. It's going to happen with Gray. It's going to happen with every single player. It's going to happen with all of them. Maybe one somehow navigates a way through it. We are crying out for a coach manager. We're crying out for a Poch, a Pep, an Iriola. We are crying out for that kind of. Matt, go on. I know you want to speak. I can see you're itching at the bit.
Yeah, look, I think Ange has underestimated the Premier League. And I said a few weeks back, Stel, that the worst thing that happened to Ange is we had that great start to his Premier League career. So those first 10 games, we were unbeaten. He was getting all the songs. He was getting all the accolades. I think 3 managers of the months. And I think it cemented his mindset of how to play football. I think had we have got off to a bumpy start, like Amorim, it would have maybe made him think a little bit more pragmatically and kind of respect the league a little bit more than he did. And I think because we got off to such a good start, he kind of thought, this is easy. This is easy. And I think he underestimated how good the coaches are and how good the Premier League is. And because the easy accusation is he had a good start because the clubs didn't know his system, they didn't know how he played. And once they figured out how he played, they counteracted that, and then we went on this bad run. Part of that is true. I think Ange was reluctant to rotate the squad. And let's get this right, Stel. Udogie played non-stop last season. He was very rarely rested. The only time he didn't play is when he was suspended. So he was an injury that was waiting to happen. Don't forget, he had a grade 2 tear on his thigh in March, April of last season. His season finished early. He had no pre-season. He played one half of the last pre-season game and got put straight back into the team for the first game of this season. So he's having rehab. He's having his pre-season when the season starts. So of course he's going to make mistakes. Of course fatigue is going to kick in. And obviously the fans just look at him and go, he's regressed. But nobody really has identified, this guy's not had a break. He's not stopped. Coming over to a completely different country and playing a system that most of us can say is counterproductive to playing one player in one position all season. What should have happened is you should have been rotated. A proper side and a proper football club would have said to Udogie, forget August. A left back would have been in that position and he would have had 10, 15-minute cameos and build up his fitness that way. Not Tottenham. They throw him straight back in with no pre-season. I'm amazed he lasted as long as he did. He was playing Europa League. He was playing the League Cup. He was playing in the Premier League. I'm amazed it took him this long to break down. So I think Udogie has been a victim of his own success because he started so well. It was easy for Ange to just keep playing him. A proper club would have had 2 left backs in that position. Now, the criticism of Ange is he could have used Reguilon a little bit more. He could have used Spence a little bit more. So those are the criticisms I'd rather aim at Ange. I don't think Udogie's a bad left back. And up until his injury with the quad style, most opposing fans were putting them in their best 11. Most clubs were putting Udogie in.
Matt, what's happening at Spurs is, Alex, I'm going to put you in this bracket, right? You're pissed off with fans that have overhyped the players, generational, quality, what a player, what a talent. And I get that. People need to calm this down because they're not. But the problem is, fans like us that don't say that, we're the ones that get it. We're the ones that get hit with these pelters when it's not us saying that. All right, Ian's gone a bit, all in with Archie Gray. Let him, right? Let him.
There's nothing wrong with what Ian's saying.
He'll either be proved. Ian will either be proved right or wrong in 2 years' time.
Exactly.
Right?
We're not having a go at Ian. We love Ian.
But I just think the fans that have gone overboard with these youngsters need to rein it in and calm themselves down. Like, stop all this generational bollocks. Perfect fit, suits the system. They need to fucking relax with that. But likewise, the fans that constantly slam the youngsters, they need to rein it in. Give them a freaking chance, man. Let the kids breathe. It's like you're just as bad as the other side. What needs to happen, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, okay? I don't want to come across arrogant. Just listen to me on this one when it comes to the youth. We've got to give them time, but we've got to change the manager. We've got to. Otherwise, this argument's just going to get worse next year, Alex. I can see it next year. It's going to get worse because they're not being. What we're doing to Mikey Moore for me is,
Shocking.
and Ashley Phillips's and Adogi's, and like, this is wrong. It's wrong what we're doing. And I'm seeing other players come in that aren't as good given the minutes. And like this whole Mateus Tell signing has really wound me up, because that was a big fuck you to the youngsters. That was a big and if Mateus Tell came in, scored a couple of goals, got a couple of assists, you'd say, do you know what? You get it. But he's come in, he's done fuck all, and now he's been dropped. Now he's been dropped for 2 games in a row. Like,
now, Scott,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
I sent you a message yesterday, right? Aston Villa and Tottenham both needed attacking options in January. Both clubs. Aston Villa bought in Asensio and these are the forward they've got from Rashford on a combined salary of £325,000 a week combined, right? Tottenham also needed an attacking player. We went and we loaned Tao, who's on £85,000 a week. So all this nonsense about January's a hard time to get players and whatever else. If you really want to go and get a player that's going to upside your team, that's going to improve your team, there's players that you can go and get. But always with Tottenham, we go for the cheap option, we go for the easy option. Why is Asensio and Rashford come to Villa? Yes, Champions League, but even when we were in the Champions League,
that's wages. They pay the wages.
Spot on. Because both of them are on over £100,000 a week. That straight away rules Tottenham Hotspur out of the window. We will be monitoring. We'll be registering our interest. In that time, Aston Villa will go kabam. Yeah, we're aware of the player. You know, we like the player. In that time, they're holding up an Aston Villa shirt. So ultimately, we are restricted in the players that we can recruit because we've got, in my opinion, a 10th, 8th wage bill. And until that changes, you'll be seeing more tails coming through the door than the players that we need. So we're always going to be handicapped. But
this is where my argument is, though, Matt. We need a coach. That's why I'm saying at the moment, you know, we need somebody like a Poch or Areola.
We had Poch.
What I'm saying is, we're going to get to a certain level, right? And then that manager will have to move on because he'll move on to pastures new because he'll think, I can't do any more of this team. And then we have to get somebody else in to do that and do another coach again. That's where we are. That's what we're at the moment. We're at Brighton's level at the moment. You see what I'm saying? This is what Brighton are doing at the moment.
We're not even at that level.
But this is what we should be doing. You see what I'm saying? Coaches to improve players that are not on small wages. That's what we should be doing. And developing them.
Alex, we should be doing what Liverpool are doing, not Brighton.
No, but let's not talk about Liverpool because at the moment we're not at that levels at the moment. You know,
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying, but that's who we should be aspiring.
Yeah, I know, but the point is though, Ian. The thing is though, we need to get our house in order first. You know what I mean?
We need new owners.
But we can talk about that all day long.
They need to decide what the fucking plan is, right? Are you going to sign experienced, proven players? And no, we're not. Right? Are you going to sign young, up and coming talent that are cheap wages and build something for the future? Yeah. Well, then you need a manager that's going to nurture that, not Ange.
Exactly. That's
then you've got to have a manager. So if it's not going to be that, if it's going to be a little bit of youth, a tiny bit of experience, some of the existing players that have been hanging around the club for years, like Ben Davies, and then just put it all together, then you know what? Nothing's going to work like that. When Ange came in, all I wanted to see was, what is the plan? Are things going to finally change? Are Spurs now going to go in a direction that we've been waiting for? COVID is over. The stadium is fully functional. The profits, the income is all up. Everything is in place. The academy's built. Is it now going to be the moment for change? Incomes land. Incomes.
You've got your answer. But you know the answer. You know the
Matt,
answer.
and what did we do? What did we do? We signed Werner twice. We signed a bunch of kids that could have played in the position that the academy kids could play in already. And then right on the last minute, before the window shut, go on, let's get Solanke. Let's just get Solanke. And then for me, it was like, there's no plan. There's no plan. You're making it up.
That's why you
go along. And that's why I gave up on this. And for me, you can't hire the right manager if you don't know what the plan is. Like, if your plan is to build the biggest, greatest stadium in the world, like what Man United are trying to do, go and get Sir Norman Foster, because he's the Mac Daddy. If you're going to build the Spurs Arena, which is 60,000 seater, go and get a company that's built these kind of stadiums many a time. Doesn't have to be the best architects. That's the man for the job. If you're going to build a stadium down the road for Haringey Borough or Enfield Town or Stevenage, a nice little 2,000 seater venue, go and get a local architect company. That'll do. The thing is, we brought in a manager, but we don't know what the fucking plan is. That's how it looks to me. And that's why it's like this at the moment. It doesn't work with the youth.
There is a plan, Stal. There is a plan to get the wage bill down. I think it's clear.
But
Matt, there hasn't been a plan. There's been no plan, short, mid, or long-term plan.
That's the financial plan. That's the financial plan.
For 24 years. There's been absolutely nothing. They came in, they got rid of Graham.
There is a plan.
They got rid of Graham. They brought Holly a week before the semi-final. A week before. Like they stuck Mason in charge 5 days before a final. It's chaos.
There is a plan.
The plan is no plan. The plan is chaos. There is no plan. Their only plan is to get rich.
To make money. Okay, you've said it. That's the plan. The football is...
I'm talking about football. I'm not interested in their pockets. I'm only interested in the football. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I go
the football
most weeks. I just want to see a
side business venture. Yeah. It's almost like you're money laundering. So you have a store that looks pretty and it's got a business name. And what goes...
Matt, there has to be a plan. And the reason the reason why there even has to be a plan, even if Levy's not got any interest, is that he's spending money every year. He's spending money. He's spending 110 million on players' wages. He's spending X amount buying players. So he should have a plan, because at the moment he's wasting fortunes. Absolutely wasting.
All I can think of, Ian, is he's got richer and richer and richer. That's what I can see. The football is a sideshow.
Doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know.
Pochettino said, Ian, the Champions League final, he almost felt sick. He said when they got to the stadium, Levy and the rest of the directors were going around like tourists taking pictures. And he went to Jesus, his number 2, and says, they aren't here to win. They're here to take part. They went round like tourists taking pictures of all the kind of the merchandise and whatever else. They were just happy to be there. The owners had no interest in winning the Champions League final. If you read Pochettino's extracts when he talked about it, he said, win or lose, he wanted to leave Spurs at the end of that season. It's not set up to win at all. It's about making as much.
Everybody knows that. Everybody, pretty much Everyone knows it, apart from the guys that are in denial because they're not proper fans. A proper fan wants their team to win. You know, I want to see winning football.
I agree.
That's what I want to see, winning football. Whichever style it is,
do you know what's
winning football. They're not interested.
You know what's ironic? That the one manager in 24 years of Levy's ownership, he's the one manager that you would expect Levy to have got rid of. Don't you find it ironic that he's the one manager that he's keeping?
Well, he's probably thinking,
unless they really think that Ange is the man and he's gonna do it, and they just want to give him 3-4 years to prove it. But I don't see it. I don't see Ange as the man. For me, he can't develop He can't develop our youth. He can't develop them.
Can you ask you both an honest question? Sorry, I'm going to ask you a question. I want an honest answer. Would Jose or Conte have played Bergvall, Archie Gray?
Jose gets a bad rap when it comes to youth, but he's actually brought through some of the best youngsters in the clubs that he's been at. So if he thought they were at the level, I'd say yes. Yeah. But he wouldn't have been able to develop them. Conte can't. Mourinho wouldn't be able to develop them. So
okay, but what I'm saying is, just
right, Jose no, because I don't. Through, yeah, man. Right. Jose wouldn't have played them because I don't think he would have believed they were at the level. Although I do think he would have given Gray a chance at the number 6. I do, because he gave Skip that chance. So I think he would have given Gray a chance at the 6. Conte, I think Conte would have. I don't think he would have given the academy. I don't think he would have given the academy kids a chance, though.
It's a major problem.
What about you, Ian? Do you think Jose and Conte would have played Bergvall and Archie?
Well, I can only go on what I've seen while they were managers. Jose brought in Tanganga, didn't he? Brought him in against Liverpool, played him right back. He gave him a chance. I'm just trying to think.
He gave Troy Parrott a go.
Yeah. Mind you, he wanted to make a point with Parrott, didn't he? Because everyone was screaming at him to play him. And he played him against Norwich, and he bombed, didn't he, that night, unfortunately.
Mate, he played Joe Rodon.
He wanted Ruben Diaz and got Joe Rodon. So...
What a fucking difference. Look. I think
he could have got Diaz as well.
Jose says he would have played. Sorry, Swanick said he would have played Scarlett. He rated him highly. I think they would have played them, Matt, but I don't think as many youngsters as what we've seen would have played. I don't think. Saying that though, didn't Conte and Mourinho play a lot of youngsters in the Europa games, and we lost those games?
Yeah, the problem was still that he made 10 changes at a time, and as we've seen, you can't make that many changes. Look what happened to Coventry this year. Changed the whole team pretty much, and what did you get? There's no cohesion. It was even worse than normal.
The thing is, if you're going to bring through loads of youngsters, you've got to make it clear to everyone we're going to go through some pain. Do you remember when Fergie brought through the Fab Five or whatever they were called?
Yes,
and
Class of
'92, and it didn't work. And Alan Hansen famously said, "You can't win anything with kids."
That they lost to Villa 3-1 in the first game of the season, and that's when Hansen made that famous comment. Yeah, and then but this is what I mean. You've got to take hits. You've got to take the losses in order to develop the wins. This is the difference between youth football and professional football. In professional football, it's about the win. It's the result. In youth football, you don't mind losing games as long as you can see a progression in the play and the development of the players. Yeah. And in 3 years' time, you reap the rewards. The problem you've got is if you try and do youth football in adult football, there needs to be clear communication with the fans and everyone involved. This is a plan. There's going to be pain. It's not going to be nice to watch. Judge it in 2-3 years' time. That's when the rewards come.
Still, You know the Spurs.
No, but there's no communication. There's no communication. We're guessing, man. We're guessing.
Stop. But even if there was communication to say that we're going down a different route, we're going down the youth, we're going to develop, and we're going to take.
You need to explain the pain part, Matt. You got to explain the pain part. You have to explain that.
Come on, Stab. The fans would not. They might have swallowed it for the first couple of games, but if results become consistent,
if the club came out, see, the problem is because the club never communicates what the end goal is. If the club came out and said, our aim is to win the Premier League. Our goal is the Premier League. That's what we want. That's what we're going to try and make happen. For the first 2 years, it's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly. But we need it to give the kids what they need so that in year 3 and 4, we can begin to grow to the place of winning the Premier League. So the end game is the league title. We need 5 years. The first 2 years is going to be messy. If they said that, fans would be on board because they've been told what the end game was, right?
I'm convinced now.
Listen, but they've never done that, Matt. But they've never done that. That's the problem. They've never done that. They've never said, we want the Champions League. We want the Premier League. What have they ever said? We want to compete. What the fuck does that mean? Compete with who? They told us the stadium was a game changer. A game changer for who? Your pockets? Joe Lewis's exit strategy when he cashes out of 4 billion for the See, this is what I mean. They've never once told us what the aim is. If they did that, Matt, I think it changes the game. But they'll never do that. Do you know why? Because they don't want us to know the truth. And the truth is, we don't want to win trophies. We fucking just want to be financially good. And they can't say that. They can't say that because if they say that, there'll be 20,000 Levy out protesters, not 2,000. So what they do is they say shit like Project Youth. They say shit like we want to compete. They muddy the waters so no one really knows what they mean. And that's
if you want to win.
And that's how we've been. If you want
to win trophies, you don't sack Jose Mourinho 6 days before a final.
Obviously, yeah.
There's your answer. And I think ultimately, we are so desperate, we're so starved of success that fans cling on to any shoots of hope. So that's why we're praying and clinging on.
Marketing brainwashing. It's called marketing. They brainwash fans.
I think I think to add to what you were saying, still, and I've sort of flicked up to Philly's comments a minute or so ago. Spurs couldn't do that as it wouldn't match up to what the fans are paying. Why would I want to pay the same as teams close to winning the league for a youth project? You're not paying the same, Philly. You're paying more. And that's the problem.
I couldn't help it. His radar went off.
There it is. And that's the problem. That's the problem as well, is that Levy, I mean, look what he's done this week with season tickets. He's cut back now the money that a season ticket holder will get if they sell their ticket on the ticket exchange. If I want to sell it, if I want to take my daughter, who's not a member, I can't, because unless I get her a membership for the odd game that she might want to go, and she comes with me once every year or two. So, everything, unfortunately, there's always an edge with him. Nothing's ever straightforward. Nothing's ever, do you know what? We're going to freeze everything. Everything's going to stay exactly the same. No, we're not going to they should be bringing the prices down with the shit we've watched. They put out in front of us this season.
Do you know, Ian? That's an interesting point. I went last year, bank holiday. I went down to Brighton for a weekend with the missus. Got in a taxi, and taxi driver, season ticket holder at Brighton, and as you do, get chatting football, blah blah blah. And he said, "Do you know what? I love Brighton. At the end of every season, we have a fans forum with Bloom or whatever the owner of Brighton is, and he tells us." In no certain terms, we will buy young, we will go to Ecuador and Colombia and pick up these, rough diamonds. We'll give them 1-2 years, and we'll tell them and their agent, if you are what we think you're going to be, and the right figure comes in for you, we will not stand in your way.
But
And
Matt, he can do that. Matt, he can do that because look where Brighton have come from and where they are now, and the fans absolutely love him. He's done a fantastic job. Done a fantastic job for them, but the expectations at Brighton are much lower than they are at Spurs.
Ian,
absolutely. We're not talking about two teams. You're not talking about apples and apples here. You're talking about apples and oranges.
No,
they can do that.
They can do that, correct.
They can do that because they're honest with their fans. They're not. Look, you see change for Tottenham. We've got the big protest coming up and whatnot, right? There are fans at the protest. I think most of them are actually Enoch and Levy out, but there's quite a few that we just want Levy to change or we want the transfer policy to change. For me, there's only one thing that needs to happen at this club, other than Levy and Enoch going, obviously, which probably isn't going to happen. But what I want is for us as a fan base to force the owners into a position where they say to us, what do they want? How long is it going to take? And what does it look like? Without that, everything is pointless at this club. Everything is a waste of time. I want them to say the aim is we want to win the Carabao Cup. Fine. We want to win the FA Cup. Tell me what you want. Don't tell me compete. Don't tell me be at the top table. I don't want to hear that. Tell me what you want, right? And then tell me how long do you need? And tell me what it looks like. It looks like academy kids coming through and in 5 years' time being the nucleus of the team. It looks like signing a lot of experienced players that you've heard of. It looks like, tell me what it looks like.
Phil, they've already done it.
Ian, they've never done that.
Yes, they have.
They've never done that. They've never, when have they ever said to us, this is what we're going to win, this is how long it's going to take, and this is what it looks like? When have they ever done that? That's what change. That's what change looks like to me. Yeah.
So have you not read what Enoch came out with before when they bought the club?
Yes, but Ian, that's why we want change, because we want them to change what they've said.
But they're never going to change. That's their remit. That is their blueprint.
Right. Ian, you missed my point. Ian, I think you missed my point here. What I think change for Tottenham need to do, I'm going to speak to Jay and Billy about this. What I think they need to do is they need to draft up a blueprint of what demands they want this ownership to say to us so that we can hold them accountable. Because what Levy and Enoch have done successfully is they've pitched constant rhetoric with no accountability. No accountability for sacking Poch. No accountability for sacking Mourinho before a cup final. No accountability for not backing Conte. No accountability for the last transfer window, which was a shit show. There's no accountability because we can't hold them account because they never promised anything. So what I'm going to say to Billy and Jay is, change for Tottenham. You need to draft the blueprint, get all fans on board with it and say, we're going to present the board a set of demands. And out, 1 minute, Ian, 1 minute. Our demand, no, they haven't. Hear me out, Ian. Hear me out. No, I'm telling you what it needs to look like. The demand needs to be this. Number one, what do you want measured by success on the pitch? Write it down. I want Levy and Enoch to say, this is what we want. Then tell us, how long do you need to do it? By years. And then tell us what it looks like. Now, when that's drawn up, we can go to them. This is what we want from you, the owners. Tell us, what do you want? How long is it going to take? And what does it look like? And when the owners tell us, and only when they tell us, can we begin to hold them account. We need to force them to answer those questions, not the questions the trust asks, not the questions the forum asks. That's the blueprint that needs to be put and changed for I'm going to speak to Billy and Jay. Something like that needs to be forced into the owner's lap, and they must answer those questions. And if they can't answer those questions, then we know once and for all they truly don't give a fuck, because they can't answer the basic questions. What is it they're trying to achieve? How long do they need? And what does it look like? Ian, that's what needs to happen for me now.
I think I've seen it. I'm trying to find it here. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. Change for Tottenham done it. They've listed their demands.
I've read it. They haven't listed what I've said. Brian, let me bring you in because I can see you. You're rubbing your hands. It means you're about to. You've got plenty to say.
I will say, first of all, I didn't even know what the subject was. I just saw Ilana's gone to bed. I thought, let me just see it on YouTube on my phone. It still had the red circle saying Tottenham Away Live. I had my phone on mute. I saw Matt, and I haven't seen Matt for ages. So I wanted to come and say hello to Matt. And then I had no idea what the conversation was. And then when you said, "Oh, my radar was going off," I can guess what the subject was, and I can guess where this is going. What I will say with what you said about change for Spurs, but before I say that, big up to everyone in the chat. I hope everyone is good and well. What I will say with change for Spurs still, I know what you're saying, and I know what you're trying to get at, but change for Spurs have been doing a lot of stuff. I've got no idea what they've got down the road on their radar, where they're at. The most important thing for change for Spurs at the moment is getting the numbers. That is the most number one priority before demands to board are made. Obviously, the trust have been associated whether people agree with what they're doing, love what they do, hate what they do, think they've done nothing. They are established. They are a huge, or not a huge organization, but they are a big organization. They are established, and they have that relationship. Whether it's kind of like the supporters trust kind of have the relationship like we do with Real Madrid, with the club, where Real Madrid will do what they want with us, and we'll pretend that we're going to get something out of it, and we don't. And that's what the trust do when it comes to trying to get answers to questions or demands, whatever they do. I agree that I would love to see Change for Tottenham come out and say, right, this is us. Have some of this. We want the questions answered that the trust do, blah, blah, blah. The most important thing for them is they keep growing and growing in numbers. And Sunday, obviously, the April the 6th one is massive. The numbers get bigger, then the next one gets bigger, and the next one. Like that, they did their space yesterday. I don't know if people have heard, and I've seen Terry is in the chat. Terry O'Shea, who's done a wonderful thing. They're already giving out the scarves, aren't changed for Tottenham, but the flags they're doing are changed for Tottenham. I've got my scarf ready in for when I land. I've got it from Linden ready to go. But the scarves they're doing, the flags they're doing, they've already said all the profits are going to the food bank in Tottenham and Noah's Ark Hospice. And what they're trying to do is get so many people to buy those flags that during the game, and specifically during the 61st and 24th minute, those flags are waved clear as day to make a visual impact. Everything they're doing is going along the right lines. I completely agree with you, Stel, that hopefully some point soon there will be huge demands and everything like that. But for me, right now, the most important thing for change for Spurs is they keep growing and growing and growing and growing the numbers and numbers and numbers, because the bigger the numbers, the bigger the voice. The bigger the voice, then you start throwing your weight around.
Brian, this is what I'm saying. To attract the numbers, I think I'm going to speak to Billy and Jay about it. At the end of the day, it's their call. It's their organisation, them and the other guys. I'm going to suggest to them, you should drop a blueprint saying, Change for Tottenham are going to demand from the owners, and this is what we are championing. They must publicly announce what they want in terms of success measured by silverware. Number two, how long it's going to take, in their opinion, using their processes, their systems, their behind-the-scenes work on scouting, coaching, how long they feel it needs before they can bring such a trophy home to the club.
Yep.
And what does it look like? Is it a project youth? Is it a project experienced players who we've heard of? Is it experienced unknown players like Danzos and Mateus Tells? He's not experienced, but Romero's, we never heard of him until he came to us. Or is it a combination of all? And then I think if that was what you're saying to people, we change for Tottenham or we leave you out, whatever you want to call yourselves. This is what we are going to present to the board. This is what you are backing. You are backing a set of demands that the club must publicly tell us as fans so we can measure their success and hold them accountable to what they've told us. I think you can attract more fans to it by doing that, because now you know what you're signing up to. This is what we're going to try and force them to do. Because I think at the moment, Change for Tottenham have got a combination of fans that want Levy out, nothing else, Enoch out. Other fans that just want Levy to change. Well, change what? Change the manager, change the football director, change how long he gives Ange. Like, what does that mean? And I think other fans, they just want a partial change, like what's happened at Man United, where Ineos take a percentage. Like, let the Qataris buy a little bit, but Levy stays. I'm happy with that, as long as someone else owns it. I think, Brian, it just needs a blueprint of a set of demands that the owners need to answer. And unless they answer it, then it's unacceptable.
Still, I don't dispute that part, but there's got to be the right time to do it. Right now, people on that march.
I think that's how you get people in.
I don't care. I don't care.
You get more people to the protest, though. I think that's how you get more.
Mate, I think the way they're growing right now, and when you're on the spaces and hear where people are planning to travel in from far and wide, and I think people I think there's a lot of people that didn't attend the last one at Manchester United because they thought people wouldn't turn up. And now they've seen they bloody well have. I think it's going to be, I completely agree that they've got to do it. But right now, I don't care if people are on that march because they want to change the entrance music. I don't care if they want to change where the water stations are. I don't care if they want to change the publisher from the programme. If you want to change it at Tottenham, I know what I want us to change. I know they need to make it. I know people are saying they want to make it clearer. Right now, when you're going in for this, though, it has got to be about building the numbers, building the pressure, building the coverage, building everything, and then go, because you got to remember, they're only going to get one chance. The trust can throw their weight. And I mean this with the loosest term, throw their weight around.
Trust aren't going to be able to.
What I'm saying is, when they release something and release those questions, it makes Sky Sports, it makes mainstream media, it makes Change for Spurs are now making mainstream media with the numbers they're getting, with the images that they're seeing. They haven't got a loud enough voice right now to go, right, Levy, right this, right that. They're not.
I hear what you're saying.
Still, the trust are established as in an organisation that Levy or the club will answer to or decide to bin off as often as they want. FAB, the FAB thing, was created to be a mediator created by the club. Change for Tottenham aren't going to do all this, and then Daniel Levy's going to go, yeah, I'm going to listen to you. Let's come to the table. This needs to build and build and build. And I don't mean over months, weeks, yet. I mean, there's going to be this protest. I'm sure, in fact, I'm pretty much positive they'll do something big for the last game of the season, home game. And just so people know, still, I just want to say, because I've seen some people talking about the flags and when they're talking about the flags they're selling, that you need to order online, they're on eBay. We're not talking like the massive banners they're bringing in. We're talking like the flags that Spurs give when they give them out. The club can't stop it. Nothing can be stopped by them. It's all been given the green light. The club there's certain people within the club that have been very accommodating with Change for Spurs and wanted to assist them to get the things done, to get the stuff in the ground. But the main thing is, like I said, it needs to become that Change for Tottenham caused such a problem for Tottenham that Tottenham will say, right, we need to have a conversation. And that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be Change for Spurs do this and Tottenham are going to answer. So Change for Spurs need to get as big as they can with all of our support to cause so much attention and negative press for the club that the club will come out and say, right, we need to have a conversation. That's for me how that first dialogue starts.
How do you get bigger, right? For me, the reason that protest was so good is because we crashed out the Carabao Cup, crashed out the FA Cup, and fans were like, enough. Right now, we're through to the quarterfinals of the Europa, Our next game, Southampton at Fulham. Let's see what happens. I think this Europa Cup one potentially makes it harder to get people on board. So what I'm suggesting, it's just a suggestion. I'm not saying do as I say, right? For me, I think if you can present to fans, even the ones that are unsure, but they kind of want to, but they don't join the protest. If you present to them, this is what we want the ownership to tell us. We want them to tell us, what are you striving to achieve? Tell us, and make it clear. Answering with, in fact, look. Let me take this super chat. Big up, Abe. Big up. Where is it? Big up, Abe Spurs. I've lost it. Big up, Abe Spurs.
Oh yeah. Miles, I can't wait to see you, Miles. I can't wait to see you, buddy.
Yeah, he was on the watch along with me earlier, right? Honest question, still. What would your thoughts be if they said, after these demands are stated, we want to compete and repeatedly qualify for European football over a 5-year plan. We intend to be able to compete for titles. That's exactly. Sorry, I'll leave it up. Thanks for your super chat, by the way. That's exactly what I would not let them do. So I would make it clear. We want them to make it clear to the fans what you're striving to achieve. Name the trophies. Name the ones you want to win. Name the ones you are working towards winning. And then I would say, how long do you need? Because you've had 25 years. I'd make that clear. You've had 25 years. How long do you need? And don't say, oh, we nearly won this. We need it. No, you haven't won anything. Make it clear. And then say, what does it look like? I would force that issue. And I would force it by making it a demand. And I'd say to anyone that comes to the protest, this is what we want the club to answer to. All other questions are off the table. We're not interested in any other questions. We want them to put it down in black and white so we can hold them accountable because they haven't been held to account for anything. Unless you can hold someone to account, how on earth can you force anything to happen? And I think by doing that, maybe, and again, it's a suggestion, right? You can get more people on board because now they know exactly what it is you want. Because at the moment, if you say to people, what do you want? You say change. What's change? There's 200 different versions of change. We've done well to get 2,000 people. That's a great, unbelievable number. It's excellent. But for it to grow, I think it needs an actual clear cause. And I think the word change is a great way to get people there. But to get the masses, the real masses, I think it needs clarity.
Yes,
Ian, what do you think?
Let me just say one sentence, then I'll let you go. What you got to remember still, like I said, change for Tottenham with everything that we tried to do and everything we tried to promote, what they've done since Christmas, the way they have catapulted and got themselves into the space they've got themselves, they have credit in the bank to be able to carry on. Because like we said, they go quiet. You don't know what, I don't know what they've got further down the road. And for me, everything that they've done, obviously you're in London, you go to the game, so does Ian. Matt's in obviously outside London, but Matt is there to see it from a closer viewpoint than me. I think Change for Tottenham have got enough credit in the bank. I don't know what they've got planned for the rest of the season. I don't know what they've got planned for the summer. They are ahead of themselves. They're ahead of anywhere we've even remotely come close to. I think they've got enough credit in the bank to follow their lead in what they're doing. Sorry, Ian, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Off you go, buddy.
I think there's more chance of Spurs winning the Europa League than you getting those answers out of Levy. Not a chance. I think the answer, they're the right questions. They're never going to answer those. Still, they look on us as something on the bottom of their shoe. Let's make that very clear.
Spot on.
Then they're not going to answer them because people back down when they don't get those answers. They don't double down. The trust, they send an email, they get a shitty response, and the trust, and what's the trust rebuttal? We're not happy with that, so we'll do nothing else. That's the problem. If I knock on your door and I say, mate, can you please stop blocking my driveway with your car? And you say, I can't do that. And you close the door. Boom, boom, boom. Excuse me. I politely asked you to stop blocking my driveway. don't do it. It's the second knock, you see, the one that where you begin to say, mate, is there a problem? Yeah, there is. There is a problem, yeah. So I'm knocking on your door. That's what the trust won't do. That's why they shouldn't be involved in this. That's why the trust are not fit for purpose for this, for helping the disabled fans, protecting fans for safe away day travel, fighting the cause for ticket prices, fighting the cause for the price of away tickets, those kinds of things. The trust is fantastic. They've proven their worth. They've proven what they've got. But this fight, it's not for them. They haven't got it in them to go the next level and keep.
No one's talking about the trust getting involved in this stuff.
No, I am, because you said to me that they don't answer. Levy's not going to answer the questions. That's because no one's done it, Ian. Because no one's done it.
Still, forget whether it's the trust. Forget whether it's changed for Tottenham.
You're saying they won't, but no one's tried it. So how do you know they won't?
Forget even if Donald Trump picked up the phone or sent questions out on Twitter. They are not interested. He doesn't give a damn about the fans.
You're not listening to me.
No, I heard what you said.
So how can you say he won't do it if we haven't tried it? See, I heard fans say to me, protesting doesn't work. And I say to them, but you haven't tried. Yeah, but what's the point? It don't work. But you haven't tried. You haven't been to the protest because people don't turn up. But you're the one that's not turning up. And then what happens? 2,000 fans turn up. It's on TV. It's getting attention. Hold on. It's beginning to work. And I'm saying this now, Ian. We're saying, Levy won't answer the questions because we haven't tried.
He would sell his shares and move out of the club.
Good. Then we win.
Before he answers these questions.
But we haven't tried. How do you know that?
But still what you're doing is you're thinking short-term gain rather than long-term reward. They have got their plan to the letter. Like we said, we haven't got we don't know what Levy's planning when it comes to transfer, when it comes to what his plans are and the bullshit and his lies. We have got, as a collective, no one apart from the 11 people that operate and run know what they've got planned for next month, next summer, next season, whatever it may be. You go and start asking Levy these questions. He doesn't answer. Change for Spurs. It's like, you see, all these people that don't agree with change for Tottenham will be like, see, they didn't answer, they didn't listen. So what happens again? Change for Tottenham, try again. And they try again. And they try again. I would much rather it come to a point where the club come to change for Tottenham because they're opening the dialogue and are going to want to speak, rather than change for Tottenham screaming into a crowd and no one's listening. And when I say no, I mean no one listening. I mean from the club. Still, you and I would love nothing more than to demand that Levy answers these questions. You've seen he won't even let people ask questions. He won't let people like you, me, and Lubo and Matt into the blooming fans forum. He won't even let us into an AGM.
Yeah, so he's not going to ask the questions. But that's why I said you've got to be prepared to bang harder on the door the second time and bang harder the third time.
Sure, you can bang. The aim is
it'll happen. It'll pass and the house won't blow down.
That's right.
No, banging on the door is a metaphor. It doesn't mean you ask the question again and again. It means you ramp up. You ramp up the protest. Right now, it has to be a mass scale boycott. Now it has to be more extreme levels of protesting, legal, not danger before people lose their minds. It has to get to the point of where it becomes unbearable for them. That's what I mean by knocking on the door harder, right? I'm not saying just do the same thing over and over again. If you do the same thing over and over again, then you're fighting a lost cause. And by the way, I just want to address this. I'll come to you, Matt. I will, I promise. This pisses me off more than anything else. The harm you do by posting this does my head in. I have repeatedly answered this, yet fans like this, you continually answer this question. Please listen to what I say, because I'm sick of repeating myself. If I give up my season ticket, who is going to buy it? A Levy outer? Someone that wants the owners gone? or someone that's sympathetic to Levy, someone who backs what's going on. You lose any access you have to protesting in that stadium. You lose all access to turning it toxic if we have to. You need fans like me and thousands in that stadium. If I give up my season ticket, we're completely fucked. And why should I leave my club because of them? I want them gone. I'm not leaving. I want them to leave. This is such a weak thing to say. This only works if all 62,000 fans don't turn up. If all 62,000 fans don't turn up on a match day, then this works. But you need to understand that 40,000, 50,000 of those fans, they're not going to protest. They don't give a shit. They're happy with this. They're the kind of fans that were on Danley's channel last night saying, I'd rather be entertained than watch Conte win 1-0 every game and win a trophy. That's what we're up against. This is a killer. You can't be saying stuff like this, bro. Look, if it's your opinion, respectfully, I let you say it and I put it up on the screen. Fans are not going to stop buying match day tickets. Not 62,000. And fans
exactly.
like
that's another. Just quick, just say that's why when, as much as I've wanted it to be done or whatever, when you were just mentioning boycotting, the fans won't do it. So we can set up, say, right, people start boycotting. They won't. Like I said, I'm going to be back for that Southampton game. I've been offered a free ticket. I'm like, not if you paid me to go in there. That's my choice.
Right.
That's my. But what I'm saying is, you got to look at it on both sides when it comes to this.
if they have a blueprint of what they're fighting for, Brian,
I don't think
maybe they would.
I don't think it makes. Still, listen, it's not making. I personally don't think it makes it. I'd love to say that tomorrow, Change for Spurs came out of the blueprint. They shoved it down the board's throat. They made it public, so the public are aware. Do I think it would gain more people? I don't honestly know. Do I think the club would respond? Not if they do, it'll be thanks but no thanks, and then they're back where they are. The club won't. Listen, still, you and I both want the same thing. We both want the same.
We all do. All of us, all four of us. All four of us do.
You and I and others have been prepared to go to any lengths within reason to get change. But it's so much. But it's battles are being won, and we need to win so many more battles before the war can be won.
Hagel, can I make it clear? Right?
Yeah.
I don't want Change for Tottenham to do what I say. They've got to stick to what they're doing. They've got to stick to their plan. I'm fully behind it. I back Billy. I back Jay. I'm just putting a suggestion forward. That's all it is. I think there needs to be some clarity on what change means. And I think it should be done in a set of demands that the club must answer in order to get more fans on board. That's what I think. Because my concern is we start winning some games and this dies off. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want it to. I just feel that to get that 10,000, 15,000, like what we've seen at Man United, to get to those levels, I think there's got to be something that everyone says, that's why we're here. It's got to be, and I just feel that a set of demands, look, it could be a different freaking thinking. I just feel like, because I just think of it as a fan, all I want to know is, what the fuck do you as owners want? How long do you need? And what does it look like? So at least then I can measure it. Because what's happening now is I do these shows and I get an Alex box office come on. This youth player's bang average. This youth player's bang average. I get another YouTuber that I work with who thinks they're nowhere near good enough. Then I'm sitting going, do you know what? I don't think they're good enough yet, but I want to see a better manager. And what we're doing is, Brian, we're arguing what are different versions of what youngsters at Spurs should look like. Because there's no clear direction. I just feel maybe it needs clear direction for the protest. Does that make sense? Without, like I said, Change for Tottenham. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're running a good show, man. It's working.
Still, can I answer Lynn Simpson on here? Lynn, I'm a shareholder. We've got Lynn. Well, there are two. There was Levy has to back the shareholders because fans come and go, but the shareholders are the ones who hold his business together. Let me put you straight on that.
Oh, this one, okay.
13th, we have 13%, right? Small amounts. I I've never had a dividend since I bought my shares nearly 30 years ago. I don't even get notified when Tottenham bring an out of football event to the ground. So just to let you know that the shareholders are treated in exactly the same way as the fans are treated. In fact, the fans are treated better because you get notified about Beyonce and about the go-karting and about Saracens and etc. and Eubank v Ben. As a shareholder, I get nothing through. Zilch, diddly squat. Never been asked for my opinion on anything. Nothing. I don't even get the yearly figures, the accounts emailed through to me. So I hope that's given you more of an idea of this whole situation. The shareholders have nothing to do with it. In fact, I'm livid because he has wasted. If I think of the money that the club have wasted because of their business model, going down to losing points and positions because he hasn't bought players till the last 2 or 3 days of a summer transfer window, that maybe cost us the league in 2016 because we had 2 points out of the first 3 matches. The amount of money that's been wasted on players, substandard players, because he won't go out and splash out on the very top elite players and pay the top elite wages. It's been appalling. And unfortunately, the fan base in total, there aren't enough of us that are as passionate to get something, to have been able to have got something done. So now hopefully Change for Tottenham are coming through, and hopefully they will get together enough people the same way that the Tottenham Action Group 25 years ago were bringing 5,000 to 10,000 people to the gates when they wanted the previous regime out. And this is a big problem. So and to the other chap who still was just addressing, I agree with a lot of your comments on the football. I don't agree with you in terms of the fans not going in there. The most uncomfortable Levy has been when the fans have turned on him in the match. So we've got to be in there. And why should I give up watching my team because of the regime?
Listen, the Levy out chance without fans like me and others, Ryan's, Brian's, Ben's, Ian's, without us in there starting the Levy out chance, there's fuck all Levy out chance. There's nothing. It's Matt, I know you want to speak, mate. You've been itching as well.
Yeah, listen, guys, I think I'm right in saying that we all want the same thing. You know, I think it's time for a change of ownership, not a change of recruitment or money spent. I've seen the movie, I've listened to the album, and I don't like it. I've got 20-something years of experience to say I know how this movie ends. So I think I speak for the rest of you guys by saying the only future for Spurs is without ENIC and Levy at the helm. So I think we just need to continue the momentum. I text with Brian early in the week. I'll be coming on April the 6th, I believe. So I'll be there for the whole day. I won't be going into the stadium, but whatever's going on before, during, and after, missus are coming down for the whole day, staying in a hotel. So we're there for the duration. It'd be great to meet you, Ian, in person, and obviously Brian as well. So
wait, Matt.
You know, I've been following Spurs for I've been following Spurs for, I'm 51, so I've been since I can remember, so maybe 46, 47 years. So it's a club that's close to my heart. So whatever momentum, we need to bottle it and continue it. Whatever the end result is, whether that means we get some sort of a communication with ENIC and Levy, I doubt that's going to happen. I was just thinking, guys, that Do you know what I think would really make them sit up and take notice? If a protest was at one of the NFL games. I think that's the one that would really send shockwaves.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are all ideas that I'm sure probably discussed and are maybe in the pipeline. I don't know.
I just want to say very quickly still, because Matt mentioned about the how many people we got in the studio or in the stream right now?
We had 600 odd, but we're down to 300 because it's 2 a.m.
All right, so
people have gone to bed. They got work tomorrow.
When you're talking about, it's 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. Your lightweights. So just for people that out of the 300 people that are still here, if you are planning on coming and you don't step foot in the stadium, whether it's because you don't want to or you haven't got a ticket, a load of us, and I do mean a load of us, will be going to the Coach and Horses pub, which is my number one pub and a lot of the Levy Out people's number one pub that we go to. We did this for the Ipswich game. There will be a lot of people there. We're going to stream it on phones. We're just going to have a good time, chill, chat, watch the game, have some fun. So if people are thinking, oh, where can I go and watch it because it's not on, or they want to know what they can do after the march, there will be a load of us at the Coach and Horses, and everyone is more than welcome to come and join. Whether you're in here because you are the same way that we are, whether you aren't against the board or against, we're all Spurs fans. If you haven't got a ticket for the game and you want to come and have some fun, meet some new people, whether you've seen them on YouTube or in the chat, we will all be in the Coach and Horses. So please feel free to join. It'd be great to see you all.
Still, can I just answer Lynn, because Lynn's commented back. Lynn, no need to apologise. I was just filling you in on what's happened with me as a shareholder. Let me also tell you that the other 87% are owned by ENIC, by Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy. Joe Lewis, of that 87%, has just over 70%, and Daniel Levy has just under 30%. I think 70.2 and 29.8. Of the 87%. So that's where.
Can I also say to Rob Frank in the chat, who says, by going to the games, I give Levy the one thing he wants, which is money. And my response to you was, but you watch the games on TV, and your TV subscription goes back to Spurs because the number one. If you go and look at the balance sheet, the profit and loss account, the number one income earning revenue stream for Spurs is media, which is your subscriptions that you pay on TV. And then your response to me was, I don't pay for subscriptions. I watch on dodgy streams. Well, guess what, mate? Those dodgy streams only exist because there's a demand for it, a demand that you provide. And therefore someone pays Spurs or pays Sky Sports to have the stream. And then you feed off that. You create the demand for someone to pay money for the club to then get the money back. Whether you like it or not, if you watch it on TV or a dodgy stream, you are feeding the money machine to Spurs. So if you want to stop giving money to Levy, stop watching games either live, on the internet, or on TV. Don't watch Spurs full stop. Otherwise, you are feeding the machine. So please don't come for me because I'll school you on this. That's how it works. The dodgy streams only exist because there's a demand for them. And somewhere in that chain, that dodgy stream is pulling from a paid source. So you can say, oh, but you know, I only contribute a little bit and you contribute more. You're contributing. It's not a reach. It's fact. It's fact. And I'll be honest with you, Rob, I don't want to live a life where I'm sitting on a shitty stream that buffers every 2 minutes, then it breaks down. I don't want to live that life. If you want to live that way, then go for it, man. Enjoy it. If you want to live a life of watching dodgy streams that buffer, that disconnect, that break down, mate, I'm not living that life. If I watch Spurs, I want it to be clear and I want to see what I'm seeing so I can judge things properly, not stop, start, stop, start. So, you know, and like I said, I'm not going to stop supporting my team because of fucking Levy. I want him to fuck off. I'm not going to fuck off. But hey, if that's your argument, then so be it. What would be good, Rob, is if you came to the protest. That would be good because I go to them all. That would be nice, you know, some support for them. But I guess you're going to say to me that you live in Zimbabwe or you live in Philippines and you can't travel or something. I don't know.
Do you know, Stal? I think the world that we're in at the moment, every microsecond of every action on the pitch there's an opinion on, there's a view on. So I think it's such a difficult thing to deal with now. So as you say, the fan base, we're either critical if we play youngsters, they're not ready. If we play older players, why aren't we giving the youngsters a chance? You know, any way you look at it, there will always be a section of the fan base that will pick a fault or find something to critique. You know, I remember Gareth Bale. I wonder if social media and podcasts was around when Gareth Bale in his first season, where he'd play a game and he'd be injured for 3 weeks and he was in and out the team, and we didn't win a football match with Gareth Bale in it for, was it 18 games? We never won a game with Gareth Bale starting. So I wonder how he would have been evaluated when he first came through at Spurs. You know, I think sometimes we have there's a short-termism when we view a player. And I think Bergvall gets such a rough deal at the moment, you know, for a guy that's coming from a mediocre Swedish league and being propelled into a team that's totally imbalanced, with a coach that isn't flexible, with a team that's not ready to play this system against big hitters, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and he's having to learn on the job. He hasn't had an apprenticeship. He's been thrust into the limelight in a team that is struggling every game. He's got experienced players that are struggling, and he's having to take the brunt of this criticism. And I think it's been really harsh on him. And I messaged Ian in the week and said, one of the positives, he'll be so much better for this baptism of fire next season. He'll be so much better. Whether Archie Gray plays in defensive midfield or whatever, he'll be so much better for this experience. If you look at Odeberg, you know, he's had surgery on his hamstring. That's a horrific injury. The boy's only 19 years of age. He's shown glimpses. I'm not getting carried away with the 2 tap-ins that the fans are saying today, but he's shown glimpses of what he could be. And I want to see more. I want to see more of Odeberg. He's already shown me he's comfortable on the ball. He doesn't hide, and he's got a trick. Let's see more. I'd like a few more players a bit more developed than him, but I'm with Ian. I think we've got as much criticism. I think we've got some optimistic plans and players for next season. Wherever we finish this season, I would rather look with my glass half full than half empty.
Thank you. That's right. So that's how I feel. Let's appreciate what we've got. God knows we criticise these players enough, don't we? We've had enough bad days, but
deservedly.
When you've got a 19-year-old kid that's come in, stepped up to this level and has played right the way across the back four. You've got another 19-year-old kid that again stepped up from the Swedish second division to the English Premier League. And he's playing the way he's playing. These are all major positives. These kids are going in the right direction. So let's enjoy it.
Should they be exposed to this? Maybe not. Should they be exposed to this?
No, sorry, Matt. When you throw kids in and they sink or swim, and these kids are swimming, and this is without coaching. This is without having leaders on the pitch. This is without having people around them to give them advice and help them through.
Ian, so I don't think they're swimming. I think they're staying afloat. I think they're
swimming. You look at Bergvall tonight.
We wouldn't have all these losses if that was the case. I've
got to tell you, still, it's down to the senior professionals, not the kids. These losses. And great Gray didn't make or Bergvall didn't make a league start for months. You know.
You know, when I went on We Are Tottenham TV today, I actually said, I just want to talk about the game today. I don't want to talk about how players have played in the past or last week or whatever. I went into that game today and got down to the yard thinking we were going out of the Europa League. I really did. I thought we were going to get a draw and not get into the next round. We did. There were some good performances. Yes, it was against a weak Alkmaar side, but last week we were terrible. I mean, terrible against a very weaker AZ Alkmaar side. We're into the quarterfinals. There were some good performances. We played. Do you know what? I think we looked more comfortable playing this kind of counter-attacking football than we have the haphazard, what the hell are we doing, other style of football. So I'm just happy we're in the quarterfinal. I didn't think we'd be in it. We're in the quarterfinal. Job done. And that's what matters now. It's cup football. It's 2 weeks. Do I think we can win it? No. Do I think Frankfurt are going to give us a much sterner test? And if Frankfurt had the chances AZ created today, would we be having the same discussion? I don't think so. But
April the 10th, isn't it? The first leg, is it April the 10th?
I'm not too sure. All I know is the second leg. 17th. Yeah. 17th. Yeah.
4 weeks.
So that's
4 weeks.
Nearly 4 weeks. So a lot of things can change for them and for us. I think they're on a bad run of form in the league. That could change in 3.5 weeks, and it could also change for us. I'd like to think, touch wood, we'll have players with a little bit more miles in their legs in the next 3 weeks, because Romero still looks rusty in his distribution. But if we can get a few more minutes into some of our players, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what can happen?
Do you know what? I'm going to end this stream because I don't know why some people watch this channel.
What's the matter?
No. I'm flabbergasted that there's fans in this club who watch Tottenham away, a Levy Out channel, an Enoch Out channel, where the intro is a Levy Out song, and they want to call me out for the things that I do when it comes to taking a stand against this ownership. And I just find it astonishing they watch Tottenham away. I don't think they should watch this channel. I think this is the wrong channel for you. You are calling me out, and then you claim you're not. It's just a different opinion. No, you're working against me. You're literally having a go at me for paying money to go into the stadium and protest. You're literally having a go at me for being in the stadium. You're working against me. You're not working with me. I don't think you should watch this channel. Honestly, unsubscribe, man. I don't want fans like this watching this channel. It's counterproductive. You put ideas in other fans' heads. It just does my head in. I just find it very, very, very disheartening that I've got fans who watch this channel week in, week out, and they just want to fire these shots at fans like me, who I think I've done more than 99% of fans for the last 5 years to try and get us to this stage. Brian is he's done more than me, I'd say. I just find it astonishing. I just don't want to do it, man. When fans want to target me and call me out on this, all you do is feed into the rhetoric of Sean Butler. And Sean Butler is someone that will never protest. He's very much of a different view, and he's allowed to have that view. He's allowed to have his opinion. But to watch this channel religiously and be a subscriber and call me out for my views on Levy and Enoch, the way I go about it, I don't get it, man. Anyway, listen, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you all the super chats tonight. Big up to A User, Dietrich Kane, Sanilla32, Avi Spurs for a really big super chat. Thank you so much, my man. Brian, have you got any shows coming up this week or next week? Or?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be. There'll be a couple of shows on Tottenham Tour tomorrow. Every post and pre-match game, me and Ben are streaming from Tottenham on Tour on his coffee channel, and I'm going to try and do a live or a pre-record thing with someone tomorrow. But during the international break, I am going to be doing a lot. Tottenham on tour, we will be doing a lot more content, whether it be pre-recorded, live. Matt, Ian, we'll get you on Stell. I'll get you on whatever. We'll do some stuff. It's time to promote the upcoming protests. It's time to sit back and reflect and just. That's the time we have still to really push and promote. Change for Spurs have a 2-week run at this, as do we, as very prominent Levy Out people. And Levy Out channels have got a very, very clear run of things where we've all said at the moment, we're all talking about the same thing, whether it be, oh, should he have played? Should he have dropped? Does actually, well, the focus for the next 2 weeks needs to be all about drumming up awareness, pressure, and numbers for the march against, or the march with Change for Spurs, about trying to get the ownership out. And then we go from there. But yeah, we'll be very active over the next couple of weeks, that's for sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Lubo, you special guest, VIP invitation on any channels soon? You're the star of YouTube at the moment.
Everyone laid back while he just gets his calendar out and just reads out.
Yes.
He's gonna do his Craig David. He's gonna do his 7 days.
Yeah. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, Chris Cowlin and Lars.
So let's start with Sunday. Lubo. Where are you Sunday?
I'm making my debut on Last Word on Spurs with Ricky Sachs.
On Monday, you'll be on Tottenham away talking about this. On Tuesday,
no, I might actually have some time with and spend some time with my wife rather than on podcasts.
You chilled on a Tuesday, unlike a Sunday with Craig David.
Maybe. Who knows?
I love Ian. I love Lubo.
Oh my God! I just hope we can go to Fulham and the performance is a lot better than it was last year when they smashed us 3-0.
Yeah.
We haven't even discussed Fulham, have we, tonight?
Thank God.
Do you know what? We will do it on Sunday, because on Sunday we've got a watch along. It starts on this channel and then it goes on to Big Up as always. I'm sure Corey Boy, Avi, my God, Miles will be on. Freaking hell, it's late at night. And who else did I have on today? Was it Alex? No. I can't remember who I had on. There's one more person. Sorry, guys, it's late.
Michael was on.
Michael, box office.
No. On the watch along. It was Corey Boy. Oh, Dan Liss came on today. Dan Liss. How can I forget him? Blimey. Yeah. Watch along will start on YouTube around about 1:00, and then it goes on to Big Up at 1:30. And then in the evening, we'll have the post-match show, and we'll discuss Fulham then. So Ian can. Well, no, Ian's defected. Sorry, he's defected that day. So no, Lubo, we've lost him. Traitor. Judas. Do you know what? I'm going to have.
Go on. Sorry, Stell. Go on.
I'm going to have an empty screen saying Ian number 23.
Don't you dare.
So I just want to say, Rolly, I've got the links. When I speak to you tomorrow, I'll get the links over to you, brother, for the scarves and the flags. Although Terry has bought, as I said earlier, Terry has bought 15 flags kindly, and he's going to donate them to people that are going in or that haven't got one. So he has got them. But Rolly, when we speak tomorrow, I'll send them to you, buddy.
Rolly, there you go, man. Alrighty, everyone, we're out of here. Big up to Matthew, big up to Brian, big up to Lubo, big up to who else was on tonight? Mr. Box Office, Michael as well. They were on. Thanks to all the guys that came on, and Mark from the
the Sheriff. The Two Mark Show. How can you?
No, because I call him Mark, but he goes by the name of Mark the Sheriff, and then he shows called Two Marks. It's like there's too many things to remember.
Yeah. Just remember Mark, and you're on a winner. You're on
Guys,
a winner.
Look, I've got it here. Hold on. I've got it here. Where is it? There it is. Subscribe to the Two Mark Show. Make sure you go follow the guys. Let's get them to 1,000 subscribers if they're not there already. Then go follow.
They're two great guys. Go on. If everyone can subscribe to them, be great.
Great banter as well. Great football banter. Big up to Tottenham on tour. Make sure you subscribe. to him as well. And someone else came on tonight, Mr. Box Office. Subscribe to the Box Office. And also, finally, subscribe to the Dan List, who was on the watch along earlier on. If I've missed anyone out, I apologise. All right, we are actually gone. This 2-hour show has gone on for 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm knackered. I'm going to bed. Come on, you Spurs. We're in the quarterfinals. Hey.
Leave you out.
Leave you out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.